Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take charge, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time has come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than red counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pasco, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. We would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din, Václav Havel, Graham Saville, No Surrender, Percy Fender, Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket.
Welcome to Guerrilla Cricket. We are getting towards the pointy end of this World T20 finals. And India are playing last of all before the semi-finals, so they go into this game with Zimbabwe at the MCG knowing exactly what they need to do. Extraordinary how these things work out. However, this morning in Adelaide, Netherlands beat South Africa by 13 runs, 41 for Colin Ackerman, 3 for 9 for Brendan Glover. And Pakistan then went on to beat Bangladesh by pretty regulation, 5 wickets. So India dropped to second in the group. All of which means that Wednesday in Sydney, where New Zealand play, if India win, they'll avoid that one, and they'll play England on Thursday. Extraordinary stuff. I'm Tony Bishop, and with me, weathering the weather, whatever the weather, whether we want him to or not, it's Messi Jez.
Hello, Tony. Set fair tonight, I'm pleased to say.
I think we're safe actually, even in Melbourne, good lord.
Yeah.
And from Singapore, a man who is simultaneously India's number one fan and number one critic, but he always has an interesting spin on things. It's an Inda Dutta.
Hey, delighted to be here for this last match. Should be a lot of fun.
Well, it should be a lot of fun because, let's face it, India really can't lose. Well, they can lose the match, and it would be a major surprise, but they are qualified. Better tell you.
But I don't think they can lose the match. You remember I wrote an article praising Zimbabwe, and they've never won anything since. So.
You write so many in this; they're so difficult to keep up. You are so prolific. It's an article a day. It's extraordinary. I wish I could be as productive as you. Anyway, the toss was won by India. They have chosen, I believe, to bat. Quickly give you the teams. KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, whoever he is, Sirakumar Yadav, Rishabh Pant, Hardik Pandya, Axar Patel, Ravi R. Ashwin, I beg his pardon, Bhuvi Kumar, Mohammad Shami and Arshdeep Singh. And the mighty Zimbabwe, who of course we've rather adopted in this tournament, but rather fear that we will be saying a fond farewell to them today, where they can go back to Zimbabwe hoping that Aninda never writes another article about them ever again. Wesley Madervi, Craig Irvin, Regis Chikava, Sean Williams, Sikandar Raza, very much star turn, Tony Umyonga, Ryan Burl, last chance to hear his magnificent jingle, Tendai Chitara, Richard Nagavara, who's back fit again, Wellington, Masakadza, and blessings be upon you, Muzarabani. Right, well, let's couple of quick questions. In Indo, I suppose, do India care who they play?
I think India would prefer to play England because New Zealand matches have not gone very well for them in the past few years. And I don't believe they're very keen to play New Zealand. They know England is probably the better team of the two, but I think India is comfortable with the kind of game that England plays and how India faces up to that.
Well, that will be interesting to see. Messrs, I mean, whatever happens, Zimbabwe, who, as I said, we've sort of rather adopted as our own, more by default of how the rota timings worked out than genuine desire, but nonetheless adopt them we did. They've more than held their end up, haven't they? And they've got a couple of weeks to remember.
And they've got something to play for today too, because if they win, they will qualify for the 2024 World Cup automatically at Netherlands' expense by finishing fourth in the group. So it's quite a prize for them. Whereas India, yeah, they'd probably prefer to play England and prefer playing in Adelaide than Sydney, I suspect.
Yes.
But
yes.
At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter that much to them one way or the other. Whereas for Zimbabwe, it really does make a big difference. We don't have to go through all that qualification process.
The action
and
is
yes, I do think they've done well.
The action's about
and
start,
if you listen
chaps.
to, sorry, last thing. And if you listen to Indian fans, then all India cares about is whether India and Pakistan are meeting in the final.
Well, yes.
I think the little point of having a semi-final has escaped them.
Yes, that is true. Although, well, we'll come on to how well the groups were structured to at least clear the path in the best way possible. Rohit Sharma is one of the openers. Let's jingle him. And the first ball is in, left arm, and defended away into the onside. It's Ngrava. Wasn't it Ngrava who took that tumble in the game against South Africa when the conditions were literally
completely
unplayable?
Wet ground, yeah.
Something's making Messrs chuckle already. We're about one ball into the action and he's already chortling and chuckling.
Well, it's the bear making me laugh. He says, so my tough love worked and Tony Bishop managed to get on air. Probably.
I knew he was doing that. He was not answering my phone and I knew that's what he was doing.
He said, I missed 4 calls, but he can do it.
Yes. Oh, that's beaten Rahul, and there's a shout from Grava. It was past him, and it really looked for a moment like that. That might have got an edge. It didn't. In fact, it might have actually even passed between bat and pad. No, it beat the outside edge as he sort of rather played inside it. Who's behind the stumps? It's Regis Chakavara, isn't it? Who's the wicket keeper? He took it comfortably enough, did Regis. I can tell you who your umpires are for the day, if it is as per expectation. Messrs can tell me if I'm wrong. Grava in, short. Another dot ball. Good start this from Grava. The umpires...
Opposition bowlers like that about KL Rahul. He gives them maiden overs.
Yeah.
Well, I can't find the umpires. I thought I had them here. I don't.
Richard Kettleborough, if you look at your screen, you can see him.
Oh, it's Richard Kettleborough. It's the Kettler.
Richard Kettleborough and Rod Tucker.
There we go. Played for... can't remember. Did he play for Middlesex, I think, for a while? Northampton, Richard Kettleborough, from memory.
I should tell you in a second.
This one is nudged into the onside by KL Rahul. Another dot ball. Cautious start, this in Indo.
Yeah. This is how they've been playing the last 3 matches. So we'll see how that goes. Not
Middlesex
ideal.
and Yorkshire, Tony.
He did, yeah. I don't think he made too many 50s, did the Kettler, from recollection. Had a pretty short first-class career from my memory.
100 750s.
But not that many for Middlesex, yes. I remember
No.
Crawley only got 100. I don't know where my notes on it went disappeared. But they have all that's kept a bit low, and it's nearly taken away to his, what it was, edged. Chikabara dived to his right, didn't take it cleanly. Slanted across.
I don't think he touched
the
it.
right-hander. No, I don't think he did. He was some way from it. Wasn't cleanly taken either. But if you could have said to Zimbabwe, well, your first 5 balls are all going to be dots, and India won't have got a single run on the board, I think they would have said, all right, we'll take that. Interesting
Right.
debate, actually. What would you rather have, 2 for 10 or a maiden over?
Oh, 2 for 10.
You'd go for 2 for 10, would you? This one has passed the outside edge again. It is a maiden, and I have to say, this pitch looks a tad lively. And cautious is one thing.
KL Rahul makes any pitch look lively, sorry.
Well, yeah, he he didn't lay a bat on too many there. It means that at the end of the first over, Zimbabwe will say thank you very much. It's none for none. All action stuff in a game that India already know that they've qualified for the semi-finals in. Messers.
Leah's with us. She says, morning all, listening from my bed. I haven't even had a coffee yet. Well, I suspect many of our listeners are in bed. Katie, Katie is with us. She's just tuning in. She's probably in bed too, if she's got any sense, if the babe will let her. Tim Ames is with us. And Leah says, finally, Pank got a game. Mog says, this game is going to be such a damn squid. Hello there. And also says, play the umpire jingles. You'd want to have the umpires have a better day than Richard Luceri, the Zimbabwean umpire who did 5
That's the one I was looking for the name. Yeah.
Oh, I have
and
found it. Tucker and Kepler
today gave a third umpire decision was a shocker.
And Grava is in. I think no, it's not. I was going to say he's not having 2 consecutive overs. It's Chatara who is bowling right arm around, and another dot ball. 7 consecutive dot balls. And
If I was Bangladesh, I would have lodged a protest against that umpire. I mean, it was just horrible.
You can tell me in a bit what is happening. Tabra's in again. It's a dot ball. Now I wonder if India have decided, well, do you know what? We're quite happy being second. We'll play New Zealand, and let's see if we can be the first team in T20 history to actually register naught without losing a wicket across 20 overs. They've certainly gone through 8 balls.
Did you watch them play the last 2 games? This is exactly how they played.
I heard rather than watched.
Yeah,
certainly
so
the
this is
South
exactly
Africa
how they
game.
played.
I was on the road.
Shocking.
Chatara in, swing and a miss. Rohit wants to try and do something about it, but he threw the kitchen sink at Chatara then, but it didn't do him any good. And that's
He's
9
completely out
dot
of
balls
form.
in a row.
Yeah, he's completely out of form. Rahul doesn't touch the ball, puts pressure on him. He's going to get out soon, and you know, it's a predictable script which is written by some Bollywood badly paid writer.
Well, I've got to say, for a man whose team are guaranteed to be in the semi-finals, you're being extraordinarily downbeat. There we go.
Yeah, because I mean they just keep playing like that. I mean it's rubbish.
Keep playing like that and still qualifying for semi-finals. It's so depressing. It's so depressing.
He's
Take them out of there and
Hendo
open fair.
fluid.
In comes Chatara, right arm over, Busley running, they've got to run! Hang on to your seats, folks. India are off the mark with a little nudge into the onside. A run is on the board, and Nindo is turning cartwheels of delight away towards the Raffles Hotel, past the Singapore Cricket Club. And all hell has broken loose at the MCG. India have scored a run. Wow. What do you make of that, Anindo? Big news.
Oh, completely. I'm absolutely staggered.
It is. A reminder of that Pakistan sit top in the group. They have a very a healthy net run rate. Run rate's not really an issue. India win, then they go on to play England. India lose, they go on to play New Zealand. Zimbabwe win or lose, they go home. Either way, though, they go home, I think, with no small amount of credit in the bank. And I rather think that's what you were saying, Messers, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think so.
And so is this the...
This one again is nudged into the
Wonderful.
onside. And India are on fire. They've absolutely gone ballistic. They have doubled the total that they made off their first 9 balls with 2 runs in 2 balls. Exciting stuff. 1 each for Rohit and KL Rahul.
You can tell Tony's had his coffee this morning.
Well, I haven't had my bloody coffee because I was sat here trying to call the bloody bear, who was quite deliberately ignoring my calls, thinking if I leave him to it. So the net result of all of that was I have not had a cup of coffee.
Tony sounds like a very frustrated big game hunter.
What?
He's a grumpy old man.
Oh, thank you. That's lofted high. That's a better shot. That's a signature Rohit shot sometimes, I think. And he's just lofted that high back over the bowler's head for the first boundary of the innings. Who knows? Might be the only one if we're lucky. Here it is.
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary,
Not a bad shot in Indo for a man out of 4,
No.
was it?
Yeah.
No, I
Right.
should have told you something about the bowler. I will do next time he bowls. But at the end of that over, it's 6 without loss for India. Messers.
Umbre Nuevo's with us. It says, morning, wonderful GC. Well, that was a surprise to wake up to. The Bear and others always say there's a loss in every team in every tournament.
There is.
And Angelic Scooter says, boy, did you folks miss all the fun earlier today. What a day for the Netherlands as they qualify directly for the next T20 and bail Ireland and Scotland out of having to face them in the regional qualifiers. Pity poo, Nepal will get Afghanistan and Bangladesh. Well, that's not necessarily the case, Scooters, because if Zimbabwe win today, then Netherlands will need to qualify.
In comes Ngarava. Full. Flicked high. Past square leg. It's not going to go to the boundary. 2 fielders are off in hot pursuit. They should take 2. They may well try and come back for 3. As the field, of course, was all in. I think they have. India move on to 9. I was trying to explain this tournament yesterday to one of my football friends as we drove to Watford. Incidentally, 4th year, if you're listening, your boys deserved it. We missed so many chances. Well done, Coventry. Brilliant on the break. Yeah,
But is
nothing
this
more
the
to
first
say.
game of the World Cup where literally nothing is at stake for either of the teams?
Possibly,
It must
could,
be.
it could
Must
possibly be. Anyway, just to
Well,
finish my point, what I said to my footballing friend about T20 tournaments, I said, imagine Watford playing Manchester City, but it was only 10 minutes each way. Watford might still just have a chance. As this was pulled, but pulled to mid-on, fielded, and there is no run. Messers, I think you're about to say something there.
Well, I was going to say I don't actually agree with you in terms of nobody having anything at stake, because I think Zimbabwe winning and getting qualification in 2024 is a lot at stake.
I think that's big news.
That is true. That is true.
Although, hold that thought, because they miss out on the qualifying tournament, which itself brings some revenue, but as we've, I think, said, not a lot. Ngarava in. Back foot nudge on the 45, fielded just back for the square. Another single. So they miss out on the qualification games. Given that these sides play so much less cricket by and large than, let's say, the bigger sides, that puts more pressure on them to play more kind of friendly games to get enough cricket
Well,
to be
they do.
competitive next time around, don't they? Doesn't it?
I don't think you're actually right. I think they do play a lot of T20 cricket. When you look at the numbers, that's where they play it. A fair bit of ODI and, of course, no test matches, generally speaking.
No, I think what happened there, to Tony's point, is that, that period, other than COVID, that period when the ICC randomly banned them was when they got really hurt and the money was completely cut off. So after that, they've been playing quite a bit. They've been playing with a vengeance, if you like.
That is fair enough. I'll have a look at how many they played this year in a minute. Ngarava is in. He's been pitched high and handsome over mid-wicket. That's 5-6 rows back. I'm not sure if it was taken in the crowd, but it is the first one of these.
Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6.
Well, I was about to praise Richard Ngarava for having had no mean tournament so far. He took 2 for 18 against Netherlands, 2 for 24 against Bangladesh, 2 for 28 against Scotland, 2 for 22 against Ireland. In 4 overs, which he's mainly bowled every time, that's pretty decent figures for anybody.
Absolutely. And he was one of the. You remember the interview I did with Lanchan Rajput? He was the player actually which Lanchan picked up from club cricket and put straight into internationals.
He was left armour. He's in. He's worked off the legs of the right-handed KL, and it's going to get him 1 run. Definitely, he holds his hand up to Rohit and says, "Whoa, calm your engines. You do not want that second run." 17 without loss. Reminder that India won the toss. They chose to bat so they could entertain us with 9 riveting dot balls, but they have now put the pedal to the metal, and poor old Richard Ngarava has taken a little bit of tap in that over. 17 without loss. There's 1 ball of it left. Good attendance at the MCG. It's nice to see.
It was sold out.
It was sold out, was it? That one swings in and is beaten a dive at short mid-wicket, and it means they get a single that I rather think Ngarava felt they shouldn't get, and I would probably agree with him. After 3, India 18 without loss. Messers.
Adelaide Balm is with us, and says Netherlands have a 100% record at the Adelaide Oval when we were there, just saying. And Omrino Overs says that any team in recorded leagues ever gone through a T20 with no runs. Let's not ask if they survived the 20 overs. Let's not be ridiculous. I'm sure that'd be the case, but I certainly can't find anything, because I suspect the records on total numbers of T20s are massive. And the Bear says, I was in bed when, what the actual fuck, South Africa managed to choke against the Netherlands and Pakistan sneaked through out of nowhere. I can tell you, Bear, that the Pakistan odds to win the World Cup went from $40 to $4. I only got on them when they were 13, but I still more than doubled my money when I cashed out. It's amazing.
Well, blessings be upon you, because it is our friend Blessing Musrabani, right arm, fast medium. He's going to be bowling to Rohit Sharma. I feel like Rohit Sharma's been literally around forever. Not in this game, obviously, but I mean generally. As this one is pulled away into the onside by Rohit, they should be able to come back for 2 comfortably enough. Indeed, they do. India champions in 2007, runners-up in 2014, semi-finalists in 2016.
I think Rohit was a part of the team in 2007, actually.
Yeah, well, that's what I think. And Zimbabwe group stages in all 6 of the World T20s that they've been in. They obviously had one definitely where they weren't allowed to qualify, which we were referring to earlier.
Yes.
Musrabani over the wicket, offers a bit of width and steered
it's a lovely shot.
Beautifully by Rohit. It's not going to make it to the bigger boundaries that we have here.
Is the outfield a bit wet, because the ball just doesn't seem to be going?
It didn't. Why is that all white? Oh.
And then they have the timing off. I mean, it's one or the other.
Well, it was. I heard you purring when it was such a gorgeous looking shot, but then as you rightly say, it didn't seem to go anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't. And I was like, did I see that right?
Yeah. Well, everything was right about it. There's still plenty to admire in the shot. Just because it was only a 2. Don't go all T20. If it doesn't go for 6, it doesn't count. As that one bounces and lifts, and Regis Sakabra has to jump high, but nonetheless it is signalled as a wide by umpire Tucker. Blessing Musrabani is not conferring mmany blessings on the umpire there. I think he feels a bit hard.
Any wider and that would have gone outside the pitch.
Well, it would. I think it would. He has a backward pointer cover in place, a mid-off as well. See, that's as far as we can see on the offside. But that's a good ball. Plenty of lift and left alone to the keeper Chakabra, and there is no run.
You have to bear in mind it's only just over a month since the AFL Grand Final was played at the MCG, so it's still adapting to becoming cricket season. It's nowhere near proper cricket season in Australia yet. Shouldn't be playing at the moment, but never mind. So I'm sure the grass will become faster as the year goes on, but at the moment it's still a bit slow.
Fair point. Yeah.
It is a fair point, and we've certainly had enough rain to have to deal with. That's cut a little bit uppish,
That will
but cut
reach
back
the
with a
boundary,
point,
I
and
think.
that definitely, as an Indo says, will reach the boundary for one of these. Yeah, he just got on top of that enough, didn't he? It was a little bit uppish, wide of backward point, and away it went at some speed on that particular occasion. A bit more pace and width for him to work with, and he didn't need twice asking. Taken beautifully. That chap dancing didn't look particularly Indian. Maybe he's just out there having a good time.
He looked a bit West Indian, actually.
Short, oh, that's been pulled high. Is it going to be caught? It is. It's caught at mid-wicket.
Yes.
Zimbabwe have the first wicket. It's Rohit Sharma that's gone for 15. It's a wicket for Musrabani. And, well. 27
blessing is
for 1.
He did have the blessing,
You
finally.
silly
He did
little
have it. He
boy,
did
what
on that
earth
occasion.
Were you playing at? No.
He certainly did. Who took that catch, I wonder? I wasn't quite sure.
I think Masaka.
Yeah, I think it could have been, but it was straight down his throat, to be honest. Although that's no guarantee it will be taken, as Moeen Ali will testify. But nonetheless, Rohit's gone. It was indeed Masakadza. Bold blessing Musrabani. First wicket down for India. Messers, do you want to catch us up on a few messages?
I can tell you that this is Zimbabwe's 25th T20 this year. That helps. I'm enjoying people waking up and seeing the news. Leah says, holy shit, I just saw the result of the Netherlands game. Now I definitely need a coffee. Imagine says, gee, KL Rahul is a good player. Why have they been hiding him? Mog says, I'd assume Zimbabwe is playing a lot of short form cricket against the, quote, grassroots nations like Nepal, the US, Oman, etc. Just Ideal says, is that Tony Bishop calling a Kettleborough a tucker?
Did I? Cool.
Yes. And Nigel Waters said, oh, that was lucky. Had fall of first wicket under 27 and a half. Oh, well done, Bear. Your betting account must be looking
Musrabani's
very
in to the new man, who is a certain Mr. Kohli.
Oh,
Who's
beautiful.
got
shot.
off the mark. You
Beautiful.
don't need me to tell you what happened. You just have to listen to an Indo purring like a cat that's having his tummy tickled.
Flicked off his legs.
There it is.
Beautifully.
Beautifully described. It's one of these. While we're at it, where's his jingle gone? Where are you, Virat? You seem to. Surely Kohli. Oh, here he is.
The Indian says signals that they'll knock us on her ass. The pitches are prepared without a sign of grass. The score is mounting quickly and they've got a talking lead. We don't mind the challenge, it's a beat we don't need. He lets us all his shots when the bowlers are fatigued. We wait to find the match is dead and our doom is Virat. And Davey Warner rides around and says Kohli's the cat, Kohli's the cat.
Actually, Messers, I'd had 23 games for Zimbabwe. I might have undercounted, and that this was a 24.
Oh, I
Highly
was just
possible.
counting the list of
Yeah,
them,
that's what
all.
I did, and I ended up with 24, this being 24. As this
I
one
may
is
have
nudged
counted
away
them.
into the offside, they take a single. I can tell you that if it was, well, if they'd played 23, they'd won 12, lost 10 with one no result, was what I'd counted down. So it's sort of a mixed bag for them.
I may have counted today's twice. That's what it probably is.
Easy mistake to make. Rohit, we're watching a replay of him wandering off, looking a bit fed up, but he's got other chances to come in the semi-finals, and who knows, perhaps the final, which might just be against Pakistan if India were to get there. Now, what an occasion that would be. If you think that just for the group game,
It's never happened, by the way.
well, tell you what, the MCG would be some venue to have it. There would be close to 100,000 people cheering that game on, and billions upon extra billions around the world watching it. That's for sure. Virat Kohli is taking strike from the bowling of Chitara, or he will be. There's a slip in place for him, and it is a little bit of swing for Chitara. Left by his Colinus. Through to Chikabra it goes. No run.
But actually, they tried in 1987. They tried in 1996 in terms of having the groups and in the ODI World Cups, and both the teams didn't make it to the finals. They've never made it to the finals at the same time.
Chitara again. That's lifted over square leg. There's a man at backward square. It would just be a single. Tendai Larry Chitara. It's 31 from Chimanimani. Plays for Kabul Eagles and Mountaineers. What's he got so far? 2 for 22, 2 for 14. Number 23, number 18, number 22, and number 22. Yes, so again, in the various games that Zimbabwe have played in both the qualifying stages and the groups, as it were, he's been very economical. 33 for 1. India not galloping along, but
no,
decent. 7 are over.
But Zimbabwe is here essentially because of their bowling.
Chitara in, flicked again, backward a square. Again, it will be a single. KL Rahul cedes the strike to the great Virat. Isn't he very close to being, or has just become, the leading run scorer in World T20 finals?
He is. I think he is.
Yes.
I've got a feeling that might be the case. He's 68 short of becoming the first batter to reach 4,000 runs in T20s, so he's got every chance, perhaps you'd argue, of getting that today. This one is flicked nicely off his legs by Virat. It's one more towards that 4,000 runs, which all Indian eyes will be upon, and it certainly would be some achievement. 35 for 1. Yeah, most runs in Men's World Cup, 226. Virat Kohli in this World Cup, he's got 226. Glenn Phillips is second, thanks to Moeen. poor old Moeen Ali.
Never forget, Tony, never forget.
Yeah.
Even his son said it was a terrible drop. I don't know how old his son is, but he can't be very old. This one again is worked around the corner by KL Rahul this time. They're alternating the strike pretty much with the same shot off every ball. This over has gone for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of them in singles, all of them nudged around the corner. It's 36 for 1. We go back to Messers.
Well, I can tell you over on YouTube, we're joined by some of our regulars. Emily Elizabeth is with us. Hello, Emily. Marshall, Craig Nutley, Karamajid, and Stephen Kelk. Now, Stephen is in the Netherlands. He missed the game today. He was asleep, but he's a pretty happy chappy at the moment. And he surprisingly is barracking very strongly for India in this game, because that'll see the Netherlands through to the 2024 World Cup. And Dom Diego, Silly Pants, is over there as well, cheering on for the Zimbabwe team.
So Zimbabwe win, they will qualify automatically for the next T20 World Cup. If Zimbabwe lose, Netherlands will qualify.
Yeah,
right. Oh well,
that's
that's an interesting subplot to proceedings. Musrabani is in 13. He was off his first over. This is pushed into the onside. No run. 14 for KL Rahul.
But just for Twitter viewers, because nobody else can see me. So that's my appreciation on YouTube. I mean, that's my appreciation T-shirt for the Netherlands.
Is that a
I
weed?
saw you that
It
earlier.
is.
That looks like
Of course it is.
It looks like a weed. Yes.
Of course it is. There you go.
We'll all be
Excellent.
having a
Amsterdam.
schmuck and a pancake in celebration of today's performance.
Well done.
That is lofted beautifully over backward point. What a fine shot that was by KL Rahul. Little bit of width, little bit shorter, and away it went. Yeah, no, I saw the picture in Indo on Twitter, and I thought that's such a splendid T-shirt. I rather like that. Modelled.
My wife still
very
doesn't know
well,
why I
must say.
asked her to take a picture of me.
Your wife asked you why you wanted
No, she
her to
didn't.
take
Actually, she still doesn't know why I took a picture. She doesn't know.
Oh, it was a selfie. You didn't get her to take it.
No. I got her to take it. Yeah.
Oh, you did get her to take it.
Yeah,
Musrabani,
yeah.
in he comes. Edged. There's no slip. There is a third man though, so it will be fielded down there, and they will just take a single. 41 for 1. I shouted edge. I think he knew what he was doing. It was
He
edge.
knew, yeah. For the first time,
he
looked
knew
like
there was
he
no
edged.
slip.
He knew no slip.
It was a conscious edge. 19 for Rahul. 6 for his Kohliness. 41 for 1 for India. Virat Kohli, 68, remember his target, to become the first man ever to 4,000 T20 international runs. That's driven away through extra cover. That's a lovely shot.
Oh,
I don't think it's going to go
beautiful
though,
shot.
Anindo.
No. This ground is conspiring against Virat Kohli.
Do you know what? The best, most beautiful 2 shots of the day have gone for a combined total of actually 5 without a
This is
boundary.
very
And
true.
yet- but that's not that. That shouldn't trouble us. What we should admire is just the exquisite nature of the timing, positioning, high elbow. In fact, he was admiring
Getting
it so
to the
much
line,
he took his
getting
time
to
to
the
start
ball
running.
perfectly.
Moves Virat onto 9, but it's KL Rahul who will be on strike. It did take 3.
Yeah,
They did
it's so
take
nice
3.
to see the footwork, the actual footwork in.
Oh, Jason's just appeared. I didn't even know he was in. Hang on 1 second, as this one's nudged away into the onside, they take a quick single. I beg your pardon. You need to go to the loo. Okay, thank you. I didn't even know Jason was supposed to be in school today, and he's immediately come in, put his hand up and said, please can I be excused? I mean, this is completely confusing.
Oh dear, dear.
I hope I've got him on the bloody rotor. That's really scaring me.
How did he get in? That's what worries me, Tony. Did you leave the door unlocked?
No, there is. Oh, won't tell you obviously the code, but there is a key safe outside. This one is dabbed away down to third man by KL Rahul. It's the end of the 6th over. It's the power play finished. It's 46 for 1 for India. 1 more over for this little commentary team, although I might be stepping into for Jason for a wee while. And Messers, who have you got?
Just Ideal says, I'm particularly enamoured of his Kohliness. To whom should I remit royalties? And Andre Blair has a good point. He says, I think Afghanistan and Bangladesh might still auto-qualify. There are 12 auto-qualifiers, 2 hosts, plus this competition's top 8, plus the remaining 2 highest ranked teams in the global ranking as at the 14th of November 22.
Could I ask you to do a quick
definitely
GPL
include-
plug as well, Messers? We'd rather been remiss, so if you could shout that one out while you're there.
Yeah. That'll definitely include one of them. Not sure Zimbabwe can overtake even if they win today. You'd think it'd be a bit unfortunate for Ireland if they didn't get in, but Afghanistan did, seeing as they finished above them. But them's the breaks, I guess. Yes, the GPL is at £40. It is open for another 15 minutes for you to pick how many runs there will be today. And if you get it spot on the nose, you get to get the pot. So go to gorillacricket.com/competition and you can enter from there.
Do you know what? I can't find a jingle for our new bowler. It's the slow left arm of Wellington Mazzacada, who starts with a dot ball. Pushed back to him by the great Virat Kohli.
Tony, that's Masakata.
Masakadze, is it? I thought it was, yes. Wellington Masakadze. And that one, though, is... Oh,
Nice shot.
you can tell when Virat Kohli has played a good shot because you just hear this gentle purring noise all the way from Singapore. He has guided that. It has gone beautifully away to the long on boundary for one of these.
Just a play of the wrist.
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary, crossing a boundary.
I'm still looking.
Very, very wristy on drive.
No, sadly this one is also quite wristy, but only just really worked to mid-wicket. They're going to run and take 2, and a misfield will guarantee that they get there safely enough. Oh, well, I apologise to our magnificent jinglers, but I cannot find Wellington, which is a big shame. Because with a name like
Well,
that...
speaking of our jinglers, Mog points out that the Kettleborough jingle was basically a whistle kettle noise. Whistle kettle.
Oh, well, do you know what? I think
That's
we have
why he
played
wanted
that
it
in the
played.
past. Yes. He'll be boiling with anger that we didn't. 52 for 1 are India. 6 off this massacre. I'm getting purring noises from Singapore, and I've got sort of porky pig snorts from Perth.
Yeah, well,
it's all happening.
The dad jokes are a requirement of a Sunday morning, aren't they, Tane?
52 for 1. Jason, do come and join me. As we wait, this one is onto the back foot, nudged away by Virat. Oh, he's got a limonata. Not Virat, Jason has. As this one is pushed into the onside. 53 for 1 India, 2 balls left. It's alright, I'll sort out my notes to clear the decks for you, Jason, in a minute. I'm just reminding myself of the... Oh yes, you are there. Yes, you are indeed on for 2. Means I can nip out, mate. If you jump into this seat actually at the end of this, unless I'm still on, which I'm not. This is waited for by Rahul, guided to backward point. No run on this occasion. 53 for 1 India.
Leah only just saw your T-shirt, an Indo, and she says, I just saw this, I guess you'll have to go by blazer from now on.
Should be the last ball from Wellington Masakadza. It is rather muscled away down to mid-on by KL Rahul. He moves on to 21. Virat is on 17 off 10. India are 54 for 1 after 7. We are going to have a little change. Messers can read some messages, and then it will be Al Hodge, Jason, and Andy.
Madam Mohan Sharma says, "Good day, Guerrilla Cricket. I feel yesterday England was teasing Australia by their play. They could score the required runs easily, but they made it hard to have fun with Australia." I'm not sure that's right. You dream on. Angelic Scooter says there, Dr. Gray is right. Leah says, funnily enough, Lord Wellington was originally called Arthur Wellesley. And Mog says, you're missing out on the Mazda Daxa jingle being based on a Pet Shop Boys tune. There you go. And we're up to date on tweets then, Jason, if you've got your cans on.
Thank you, Jez.
Cheers, guys.
See you all in a little bit. Hello, Jason.
Good morning, and good time of day wherever you are.
And hello to Andy as well.
Morning, everyone.
Well, what do we reckon to this start?
Andy.
It's going to be Burl who's going to bowl the 8th over outside the off stump, and Rahul just pushes this into the deep covers, and he'll take a single. He's on 22 off 20 balls. Virat Kohli's been a bit more productive. 17 runs off his 10 deliveries.
Just kind of disappointed. It's slightly a dead rubber.
Well, yes and no, as this one is pushed down towards long off, and Virat will make some sort of signal. It's difficult to know what these signals mean. It used to be quite easy.
Yeah, it's only not a dead rubber if India throw the game so they can play in New Zealand instead of England. But I don't think they're going to do that.
I would think that would be beyond them. As that is, Rahul takes a step down the pitch, plays it through a vacant mid-wicket area. By the time the bowler reaches the edge of the 30-yard circle, they've come back to good running by these two experienced batsmen.
Well, to this tournament's credit, there haven't been many of them, certainly compared to the ODI World Cup format. So, well, and what a surprise to wake up to this morning. The Netherlands have beaten South Africa.
Well, indeed.
I'm sure you've already touched on it, but...
Well, we've got time in the next few overs. We can touch on it.
We do. And goodness me, I was very surprised to see that this morning.
Feels like it's the thing that should be touched on more than once.
Yeah.
This one a bit more tossed up outside the off stump. Rahul goes down the ground, just about evades long on, just about misses the cameraman, and that is 6 runs.
Smack it in the air. Smack it in the air. Legs move it side to side. Smack it in the air. Smack it in the air.
Smaximum.
Well,
that's very brave camera work. It is going right down the line towards the cameraman, and the cameraman doesn't move an inch.
Nope, they normally pan away so they don't break the very expensive lens.
Yeah, obviously not his camera. As Rahul goes down on one knee and slog sweeps, and as this got the distance, Well, it
Not-
beats the fielder,
Not
maybe.
quite. I think that did bounce just in front of the rope. It's a
inside.
long boundary, so the fielder was coming back from 10, 15 yards in. Couldn't get there big enough from Rahul. I think it's kind of funny that there were 4 captains in the tournament really struggling for runs. They've all managed to grind out a few except Rohit.
It is strange. He's been well out of sort. A 6 on any other ground.
Do you know what? I think the fielder's just misjudged that a little bit. He could have maybe got there.
Yeah, he did look like he took his hand away
Tough
at the
one.
last minute, but he was fast running out of room towards the boundary as Bill comes back with a slightly better delivery, which Rahul can only push back to the bowler. So by my rough calculation, 14 off that over, quite expensive. And at the end of 8, India are 68 for 1.
Did we have the Mog? You're missing out on the Mazakadze jingle.
Yeah, I think that was the last one.
Yeah,
Jez.
in which case we're up to date there. Let's have a look on YouTube. All the usual people there: Stephen Kelp, Don Diego, the Silly Pants. Message Jez poked his self in there to have a chat to people.
Is he having a rummage on YouTube, is he?
Just a comment.
Just a comment or two. It's going to be Sikandar Raza who's going to bowl the 9th over.
Golden Arm Sikandar Raza, who goes a bit like this.
Sikandar, watch your story. Sikandar, can't cut your tongue. Sikandar.
And that is just pushed back by Virat. Back to the bowler, or the bowler fields in front of the non-striker, and no run.
The poor man's Sunil Narayan.
Sunil Narayan, the very poor man's. I mean, he had a couple of good games, but was possibly flattered by those.
That one maybe just stops a little bit in the pitch. Virat missed times into the leg side, and no run.
Have we touched on the implications of that Netherlands win for qualification for the next tournament?
Yeah.
We have.
Well, we're aware that going on the non-dead rubber line, as that is pushed towards long on by Virat, and that will be a single. That this has got all sorts of connotations.
Well, no, it doesn't.
Well, no, it doesn't, because Netherlands now qualified because Pakistan beat Bangladesh, I think.
I thought that if
it double doesn't.
Oh, right.
Because of the way they have absolutely scammed this, it's not just the top 4 automatically qualify. It's the top 4 plus the highest ranked of the other 2. They were covering their asses just in case a big team finished bottom. And what that means is Zimbabwe are automatically qualifying even if they lose this game.
Aha! Play to mid-wicket and no run from Rahul.
This came up in the restaurant last night when we were having a curry. Is the next one in West Indies and USA?
Yes.
So does that mean West Indies qualify already, having been 12th?
Correct, yes.
Which seems a bit odd.
But
there's a lot of it that's odd.
Cut away by Rahul into the deep, as you would expect. A fielder, and therefore a single.
Actually, no, I was wrong. The next 2, it would be Bangladesh are higher ranked than Zimbabwe, so actually I was incorrect there.
Slightly back of a length, pulled by Virat round the corner. But again, a well-placed fielder limits everything to a single. And at the end of the 9th over, India are 71 for 1.
Leah says, funny that South Africa got out in the same group stage. Normally they choke out in the knockout game. No comment. Dutch Cape responds to that with saying, they didn't choke, the Dutch were just the better team. So glad I stayed up. Oh, you're not in Australia, Kate. I'm disappointed they didn't take you with them to score. Madan Mohan Shah says, today South Africa made their admirer very sad. I presume that admirer's you, Madan. They have some high-class bowlers and very attractive batters, but they didn't show their skills. No one has imagined that they would lose in today's match.
Well, yeah, we'd had it all. I mean, I said even before we started the coverage today, we had them. It wasn't penciled in.
No,
they were in the semis in 10. but sometimes games aren't played on paper. As Chitara is back into the attack, bowling his third over, pushed down the ground for a single by Virat.
Again, did we touch on the implications for Scotland and Ireland?
No.
Yeah, well, that's very interesting, because the Netherlands have automatically qualified. If they hadn't, Scotland, Ireland, and the Netherlands would have been in the European section from which only 2 would qualify.
But now
the Netherlands have automatically qualified, so that makes Scotland and Ireland have a much better chance of qualifying for the next tournament. It is ridiculously arcane.
Well, I'll hold my thought until Chitara's next delivery, which is a slower ball but on leg stump, and Rahul will play that through towards deep mid wicket, and there will be a single. It's arcane for a reason, and it's up.
Very much so.
And the reason is that they don't want different teams being in the World Cup.
Well, they don't want the slightest chance of any of the sort of. They won't accept a 0.00001% chance of England, Australia, or India not qualifying. That's what it is.
Yeah, and they don't want 16 teams because they've already discounted against that.
So Jez in the green room as Chitara comes in, and that is just dabbed down by Virat, just a couple of yards away from where he is, into the offside field, and a sharply taken single is taken. I think that the Netherlands, in order to qualify, need India to win today.
Oh, they do, but that's happening from here.
Oh, wait, that's a given. It's if we've learned nothing from the game this morning, I know it will be a shock of all shocks, but that's what we currently believe, isn't it? That because of an Indian win, that the Netherlands will qualify. As Rahul steps away to leg, pulls this ball away, perfectly bisecting 2 fielders out in the deep on the leg side, and that has rocketed away to 4.
There's not one boy for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
Yeah, in the meantime, in this game, Rahul and Kohli looking very well set. They've got Sky, they've got Pant in the team today for Kartik, which they said was giving him a game, but Kartik did leave the field in the previous game.
Yep, he had a bad back, didn't he?
Yeah, so who knows, but India set up for a big score here.
Slightly slower ball again by Chitara. Rahul looks disgusted with himself as he plays a passive shot to deep mid wicket for a single.
Jury's still a little bit out on KL Rahul. It's fine having these slow starts and then kicking on against lesser teams, because you can do that. Whether India can do that with this top 3 in a semi-final, it could cost them or a final.
Although the run rate of 8, again, got to take into account the opposition, but as we're 1 ball away from our sponsored drinks break, we'll think about more about this in just a second. Wide outside the off stump, Virat tries to punch it through the covers, cannot beat extra cover, and so that will be a dot ball. Chitara's 0 for 19 on 3, and at the midway point, it's 79 for 1.
Josie Oak says, and I agree with it because I was about to make the point on air, by the nature of T20, you win a few and you lose a few. No win is guaranteed, and yes, every team basically has a puncher's chance.
That's right.
Games aren't played on paper.
Yep. And on YouTube, Suter Who's joined us, he says, and USA. Yes, I made the point that USA are also hosting. I don't know how many games, and I don't know the venues, but I think they're all in Florida.
I would think so.
They'd have to be, wouldn't they?
Don Diego says, morning all. Out of the right side of bed again? I don't know who you're talking about. I think South Africa got out the wrong side of the bed today.
Well, Mark Boucher didn't help his cause by saying maybe it was because of the early start. Yeah, maybe you're getting an early P45 tomorrow, mate.
Madan Mohan Sharma says, before the start of this World Cup, no one has speculated these 4 teams will play the semis. Australia and South Africa were present in every other body's list.
About everybody's.
I think I had South Africa as a bolter, but I still thought 3 of the 4 would be India, England and New Zealand.
Yeah, I think, I mean, the whole idea of there being, of just going down to semi-finals this week is that there would be, you know, some chance that there would be some sort of, not shock is too strong a word,
but in each, even with no shocks at all, in each group there's 3 teams, 3 bigger teams competing for 2 places.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, the reason that it's not a shock that India and England and New Zealand have made it into the semi-finals is because they're really quite good at T20 cricket. I mean, it's you can't overthink it really.
No, plus you know there's a lot of variance. I mean, India and Australia got rained off. Who knows what would have happened in that game?
Yes, the weather factor. That's not. That's thrown the random card into almost everything.
Yeah.
Well, we seem to be coming out the other side of our drinks break. Jason, is there a particular company you want to shout out as the impromptu sponsor of this mid-innings break?
I'd like it to be a coffee company because I'm desperate for one.
So if you've got coffee,
that's going to.
Send us a
I'm sure there's going to be a ring on the doorbell from Brian 001. Therefore, in about 20 minutes.
Send us a big box of coffee.
You could order your own.
That is also true.
Not on air, I can't really.
Is the bear not there?
No, the bear is
Tony?
having a day off. Tony's in the green room rejigging stuff, I think.
And ordering coffee by the sound of it.
Tony's in the bear position. Raza will continue. This one spins towards the legs of Rahul, and he'll push this through. Well, it'll go about 20 yards, but there's no one there to do the fielding apart from the bowler, which will mean that a single will be jogged. 80 for 1 as we see the moon large in the night sky. Score predictor saying that this is going to be 202, which means there will be some fireworks in the next NM.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure they just plug a number into that to start with still.
Yeah, random number generator says 202. Coley takes a step down the pitch, turns a full pitch ball into a full toss, drives it down the ground, but can only get a single down to long off.
What I'm saying is someone literally sits down at the start of the day and says, "Ooh, I reckon 190," which rather takes away from the objectivity of it.
Well, I mean, to be honest.
Yes.
Oh, a quicker, full, almost Yorker-length delivery. Rahul does well to dig it out and digs it out into the covers for a single.
Doing well again, Raza. Yeah, doing very well. He's
quite economic, even if he's not threatening necessarily. I noticed that.
He's varying both length and pace, which is good to see. This one a bit more loop, but Coley's able to smash it down the ground. Missed time, but hit with a great, almost all of his power. But it will go all the way down to long on for a single. 4 singles so far of the over. I think Jez is talking about when.
Every time I mention it, I regret it because they're all terrible, and yet we keep talking about them.
Well, almost a medium pace delivery by Raza this time, which is again played down to long on.
So Jadav, slingy Malinga variation.
Yeah.
Oh, a little bit. Yeah, not as much as Hasaranga was doing it. He didn't do it against England, but the game before he was playing some real filth. He's really down. He's down on one knee. He's trying to bowl from the level of the bails. It looks horrendous.
Last ball of the over, very shortly pitched, and Coley plays it to mid-wicket. That is 6 singles off 6 balls, which means we're at 85 for 1 as the sun sets at night.
Beautiful.
Mog says T20 is the best place for the boutique nations, in quotes, to get a world stage. Witness Namibia versus Sri Lanka, Ireland versus England. The game this morning. The format is a bit of a leveller. Yes, it is. I mean, the shorter the format, the closer the games generally are. Josie Oak says, still South Africa are in good company. Australia, ha 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 ha.
Well,
And,
there, but for the grace of God, goes everybody
yep,
else.
and Ombre Neves. Not sure in the end that the weather has made a difference to the last 4. There was always 6 teams favourite for the last 4 spots, which is what Point Andy made. It did, however, add the possibility of a shock team in the quarters. There's no quarters.
Apart from that, yeah.
Yeah, but apart from all those things, it's going to be Mr. Williams who's going to bowl. As that is I was going to say a short pitch delivery, which Coley tries to push down the ground. A good stop, a short by Sean Williams. In front of the stumps, limits it to a dot ball, and Coley can't be extra cover with the expansive drive with the second ball. 2 dots to start this 12th over.
Keeping a lid on this at the moment, Zimbabwe doing quite well.
Coley's become quite becalmed. This is probably my fault as he whips this to deep mid wicket for a single. He's now 26 off 24 deliveries, which if you consider that he was 17 off 10 is not trending in the right direction.
Coley's going to Coley. He certainly doesn't care what anybody says.
True enough. The longer I stay in, the more runs I can score. That will be obvious. As Rahul surveys the field, Williams wide of the crease, down the leg side, and I've never seen anyone more disappointed in a single in my life, Andy. Rahul goes full Kevin the Teenager as he takes that single. Very stroppy arms, wasn't it? Very stroppy arms.
I was actually distracted for a moment, so I didn't see KL Rahul's body language.
He was just like, oh, it's unfair.
Well, he's on 45.
45 off 33, that's not too bad.
Ooh.
As Coley has attempted to hit down the ground up a ball that wasn't there, and Coley has gone, maybe feeling the pressure of the scoreboard.
Good bowling.
He's tried to drive a ball that was too short for driving, and he's mistimed it, and long off's done the rest, and Coley has to go.
You silly little boy, what on earth were you playing at? No!
Well, with the firepower India have in their middle orders today, I don't think that's going to hurt them that much.
No, but still. I mean, with the way that the ball was pitched, if he was looking to pull that towards mid wicket or deep square leg, you would see it as a better shot. But to try and play that ball with the where it's pitched, just how short it was.
It's a bit. I'm Virat Kohli. I can play that shot.
I can muscle it anywhere, but I think that one just stopped in the pitch very slightly, which is why he hit it straight rather than through mid-wicket cow, which is where.
I'm pretty sure he was trying to hit it in that direction. I think he was trying to muscle that over long off. It's just a pretty ambitious shot.
Right, I should get some tweets in whilst we're waiting.
Well, do you want to jingle up the new batsman?
I will. It's this man.
Going to be
Surya Kumar. Surya. Now I know the others might have let you down. It's not too late to play Surya now. Surya Kumar, you're down.
Perfect entry point for him.
At the risk of annoying Jack in just a second, as this one is whipped with a flourish towards cow corner. Good stop on the boundary sponge. I think they'll take 2. Yes, they do take 2. Just 4 off the over and a wicket. Maybe keeping Kohli crease might have been better. Yeah. We'll see though how Surya goes. 89 for 2 after 12.
Some excellent fielding by
good fielding,
Zimbabwe. Ombravo says, yes, sorry, got my semis and non-existent quarters mixed up. Head down in shame. Monk says, we should be celebrating the fact that Australia and South Africa, and to a lesser extent even the West Indies, haven't made it through. It might be a tiny glimmer of a flash of a motive light. This shit is getting less predictable. Can't really disagree with that. Mrs. Jez says, the Australia versus England game being played could have made a difference, as could South Africa versus Zimbabwe. I suspect England would have won anyway, but South Africa could have had a chance of beating Zimbabwe.
Let's just have a look at the table. Would that have been enough? Would it have gone to run rate?
It probably would have
gone. It would have gone to run rate, yes.
Raza in. Oh, and Rahul has swung through the line of the ball, and pick up your bat, son, and say congratulations on your 50. 6 runs and 50 for KL Rahul.
50, pretty nifty on a bowler's pitch.
It's the kind of shot I'm a bit surprised you don't see more often off Sikandar Raza when he just drops length back a little bit. He goes again.
Goes, well, this one doesn't look like it's gone as far, and it's been caught right at the boundary. This one did not look as if it was as well timed. It went high, but it did not get out. And Rahul celebrates his 50 and then has to trudge back to the pavilion. You could just tell. You could just tell by. Sometimes you know how the ball is captured on the camera that it's like, oh, that's 6.
Yeah,
that one looked like it was touch and go.
It can fool you sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally.
But that one definitely did look more up than out. No,
It did. I mean, that's fine from Rahul. 51 off 34. I'm not sure he'll be disappointed. I'm sure he'll be doing more arm waving and shoulder shrugging in the dugout. But that one's really not a problem.
Better not put his arm out then.
Yeah, gives Pant a go.
Yeah, welcome to the Rashad Pant experience.
Right, let me find that. That's this one.
Rashad Pant.
Oh, that's portentous, to put it mildly.
Again, not quite his usual entry point. He's more accustomed to batting top 3 in franchise cricket. Sometimes you do have to shuffle around a bit when you're playing internationally.
Slightly problematic number 5 position for India, where they've had Hooda, they've had Kartik, they've had Hardik. No one seems to have nailed down a place for good in that position at the moment.
I think it's
not quite.
I think sort of lower middle order is more difficult in these shorter formats because there's no. I mean, I suppose you could say the same in Test cricket. There's no real good time to come in. Really, you're either coming in because of early wickets, or you're coming in right at the death, being ordered to kind of throw the bat around with it.
And tactical flexibility does come into it as well.
So rather going around the wicket rather than over, Pant just pushes down towards long off, and there'll be a single. As we see that, just underclubbed it really.
Yep. And again, 6 most of the time in the IPL, but these are bigger boundaries.
Yeah, he kind of knew from the moment it left his bat that there was no an anxious look from KL Rahul as that ball left his bat.
I've said that before. It is like when you underclub the golf shot, you're having that anxious look. Is it going to carry the bunker?
Yeah, it's why everybody loves the 12th at Augusta. There's that look of that little swirling gust in the Amen corner. As that ball well pitched up, Surya will push that ball. Wider Schmidoff Longoff will do the fielding. So we've got 8 runs. But quite an important wicket, 97 for 3.
Well, quite an important 2 wickets in the short time, so they have to rebuild very slightly.
Well, that is
likely. They've only got 7 overs left after this one.
Yeah, all the sense, the people that you need for the fireworks are there. As Pant drives that ball hard, well stopped by Raza, even though it did seem like he had very little choice. He was definitely going to get in the way of it.
One way or the other, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say it was hit so hard he couldn't get out of the way of it.
Stop it or wear it, basically.
Yeah. Either you stop it or it'll just embed itself in you. Last ball of this over, just pushed to mid wicket.
No.
Pretty vacant. Good sliding stop by Raza.
Yep.
He's posed all sorts of problems. 1 for 18 off his 3 overs.
Are we changing around? It's always difficult to work out.
I
think we are.
Let me just.
Yeah, that's the end of 13.
In which case we should have somebody else joining us. Message is joining us. I'm going to the summary seat, and someone else. And
I'll ball by ball, yeah.
bowling.
Aha! So it's me, it's leaving. Right, see you in a bit.
See you later.
I'll just be with you in a sec now. I've got some electrical issues.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah, well, don't get electrocuted.
In
98 for 3 off 13. India should be looking for at least 175 here.
Yeah. I can do the tweets whilst Messi Jez is working out what's going on. There's only one really of one or two. Josie Oak says India, Pakistan, New Zealand and England making it to the semis is hardly a changing of the guard.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And it wasn't a massive surprise West Indies didn't. Maybe a surprise they didn't qualify for the Super 12, but not a massive one. They didn't make the semis. That one's pushed up to long on for a single. And Williams, who's already grabbed a real crocodile catch there.
Ryan
Crocodile
Burl,
catch
your
from
technique
Burl.
was a bit shocking there. It's despite your technique rather than because of it that you caught that.
Yeah. Absolutely. If you don't know what a crocodile catch is when you put your hands like this and go there, like Ryan Bull did there. Williams is in again, left arm around. That's flicked into the leg side. They should be looking for 2 here. No, just the 1.
No, he's hit that too well, even on a big playing area.
What's he doing there? That's really schoolboy.
Mind you, I was looking
That's
at
how you get a busted finger.
the catches on the
He has
boundary
his eyes
earlier.
shut, I reckon.
I watched, was it Musa and Barney catch, and he caught it side by side crocodile rather than up and down crocodile.
The left-hander, that's full onto the leg stump. It's outside leg stump. It's sure that's a wide. Yes, it is.
Wide.
Yes, better catching technique from Ngarava on that one of KL Rahul. Slogged by Pant. It's gone out into the wide open spaces. No, it's a catch. It's a very good catch.
Great catch.
We're
Well-
all Tim Burl again shows us how it's actually done. He goes
Commentator's
10
curse.
10 yards to his left, and I don't know what his hand positions were there, but he doesn't care because he's taken the catch.
Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
That's a good catch.
It's a very
That's
good
a
catch.
Chris Jordan type catch.
Yep.
No, Chris Jordan would run 5 yards the other way, then dive to make it.
That's true.
But it's a very
And
good
India's,
catch.
India's problems at number 5 continued as Pant can't make an impression and couldn't do anything to force his way into the team for the semi-finals, I don't think.
Yes, provided Kartik is fit to play.
He's fit, yeah.
I get the feeling that Kartik, if this would been a match where the qualification was on the line, would have played.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, they were saying at the beginning of the game Pant was only playing because he hasn't played a single game, so they wanted to make sure that every one of their players had a chance to play before they get into the finals.
This is not primary school. You don't get a prize for doing anything.
No, it's
Fair
not
point.
that so much as giving them a chance to get a feel. If Hardik was injured, for example, you'd want Pant to have had a run recently.
Speaking of the man, here he is.
And in breaking news, Hardik Pandya.
He plays that one into the leg side. The bowler is across. There's no run. Yeah, I mean, India now, one more wicket and you're into Axar. So that might play on their minds a little bit.
Yeah.
Round the wicket, Williams, who's had... Oh, that's too short, but it's going to be a wide. It bounced off the keeper's glove. I don't think they got an extra one, but it was poor cricket. Yeah, that one from Pant, when it came off his bat, I thought he was fine, but it just carried a bit further and the fielder made excellent ground. That one is punched up to cover and there's no run. I think 170 is still too many for Zimbabwe, but they're having a good go.
Yeah. Well, they've really pulled it back, haven't they? Because
They have.
It's looking like it's going to really take off.
That's a single out to extra cover. Williams 2 for 9 off his 2 overs. Excellent stuff. It's 103 for 4, 6 overs to go.
Jazzy Oak says India, Pakistan, New Zealand and England making it to the semis is hardly a changing of the guard. I don't think anybody was suggesting it was. It's just that there was some glints of, well, specks of shards of light or something, as Mo put it. Jose also says it's got a funny feeling this will be a bear game. Well, it's been surprising how. Well, exactly, and it's been surprising how few bear games there have actually been. Every time we think it's going to be one-sided, weird shit happens, like when Afghanistan almost caught Australia the other night.
And like England almost cocked that one up yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. Amog says the crocodile strikes again.
Crocodile sleeps
Indeed.
tonight, surely.
And crocodile shoes. Oh, Masakadze, that's more filth. He tries to bowl a mark, 23-yarder, but omits to get the direction right, and it's short and miles outside off stump for a wide. Here he comes again, that's better, but it's clubbed by Hardik, but straight to cover. Is it that hard enough? There's no chance of a run. Seeing that Timberl catch again from many angles, but it does deserve it. And Hardik this time spoons that one past cover. He's going to go out to the man at extra, but it's one run and just one off the 3 balls so far.
Yeah, when you look at that Burl catch, it's the stuff that he does after he's actually caught the ball in his hands that's so important as well, to make sure it's retained, lodged in his, stays lodged in his arm, which is basically to extend the arms forward so that you can't jar them when you hit the deck.
There was one jarred out the other day. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah. Williams, was it Williamson? Yeah.
No, not that one, but it was something similar. That's another good ball, top of off, and this is good stuff from Masakadze. Surya's missed it. There's no run.
Is he in relation to Hamilton Masakadze? Do we know?
Someone was suggesting that he might be a younger brother. But he's doing well, and that's again hit out towards deep cover, but again it's only going to be a single. India 106 for 4, 5 overs left after this one.
I mean,
yes, he's a brother to Hamilton Masakadze and SW Shingirai Winston Masakadze. There you go.
Into the pads that time, and that one is played out into the leg side. Can they get 2? No. Zimbabwe fielded quite well in this game so far. They've taken some good catches and cut off a few runs.
Yes, well, clearly a talented family like the reefer family from Barbados, where there's millions of reefers.
Well, we know there's lots of reefers in Barbados.
Insert your own joke there.
Punched out to point, it bounces in front of him. They should have got through for a single. End of the over from Masakadze. No, they didn't. And only 4 off the over. 107 for 4, 5 to go.
Rajesh Mohan says final at Melbourne on Sunday. Yes, it is. So a week today, weather permitting. The good thing about the finals and the semi-finals is
there are reserve days.
Reserve day. Yeah, and they don't restart. They just continue on where they left off.
Okay.
Dr. Soothsayer says T20 is rigged. I suspect Pakistan are fated to win the World Cup. Well, I think the ICC would love to see an India-Pakistan final, wouldn't they? Because if India weren't in the final, I suspect you'd only end up with about 50,000 at the MCG. The light roller says crocodile shoes won't help, but what about crocodile gloves?
Well, they used to have the crocodile gloves with the bobbles on the back of the batting gloves in the 70s and 80s.
Oh, yes. I remember those. God, they didn't do much either.
Well, there was
not much protection, no.
And so we're up to date on Twitter. Pokey Bumfinger says Pakistan scraped through it at the 11th. Jammy bastards did it again. Yeah, there's something very Pakistan about it all.
And wouldn't it be just Pakistan to then go out and play superbly in the semi-finals and finals?
Yeah.
That one's played up to mid-on. They get through for a single. I'd like to see some boundary intent from India at this point, before it gets down or not.
2009, where they won the tournament in exactly that manner. Peaked in the last 2 games, basically, I think, and scraped through to the semis.
1992 World Cup was a little bit like that.
Well, should have been out. The
England rain game, yes.
They were on toast.
That's a very false shot, but he's got away with it because he's almost got a 6. That might be one of the worst 6s you'll ever see, because he took his eye off it, he took his one hand off the bat, but he's managed to get an edge down to fine leg. And I'm gathering that was a 4, but it just only just pitched in front of the sponge.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
Yeah. But yes, in that position where you can't put a fielder, apparently, I'd be tempted sometimes. Musrabani maybe will be targeted by Indy. He's 28 or 14 balls so far. Surya facing up to him. Drives him back straight. That's a good shot. Mid-off was up and had no chance with that one. That's 2 bounces for 4. That's what I was looking for. The boundary intent from India, and Surya Kumar Yadav has answered the call.
Well, it's time to launch, I think, now. You can't really wait much longer to get a decent score.
No, and you have to trust the batsman behind you to be able to do something, even if it's just rotate the strike. And Aksar and Ashwin are certainly capable of that.
And Hardik gives some animated words in the middle there with Surya Kumar at the...
not sure what about, apart from keep doing that. Musrabani under a bit of pressure and drops the ball onto his foot, and as he didn't get into his gather, I guess that's... Oh no, he's given a wide. That was a ball. Or was he doing this?
I'm sure he didn't get into his delivery stride. Surely that's just a dead ball.
No, it might have been just caught him doing the end of a dead ball rather than a wide. That's more likely.
Yeah, I think
But once again, Campbellman electing not to show us what happened and just give us a pointless graphic instead. I think he might have had the wide for that too if he wanted, but clips it out to deep square leg. A little bit of hesitation for the fielder, but it's still just the one. No, it was a dead ball. So 10 off 4 balls. This is the over India we're looking for.
I get the feeling that previous ball, that ball wouldn't have been a wide down the leg side. I think it was slammed into his pad just about.
Just about. He could have stepped inside it and maybe got wide, but it was turning towards leg. And yeah, Musrabani is, I think, the bowler they're going to target. He's got another over after this one if they want. That's also full on the pads. It's clipped down to fine leg, and it has bisected the 2 fielders. So that's 4 more. Forward to Hardik that time. Certainly got the crowd going.
Surya Kumar now has 979 T20 international runs so far this year at a strike rate of 182.
This year, extraordinary. He is. There's no one else I'd rather have in the middle overs.
Yeah, sky's the limit.
Yep. Onto the pads again. It's gone off the thigh pad or maybe the bat. It's 4 either way down to fine leg. A very, very expensive over. It's 18 whichever way it is. We're just going to get a... No, it was leg biased, so at least the bowler escapes that one. Nonetheless, 18 off the over, 125 for 4 to go.
Leah says, India Pakistan in the final.
Go on, Jess.
Leah says, India Pakistan in the final would make them a ton of money. I guess it's only fixing if the ICC doesn't get a piece of the action.
The ICC arranged to get the fix of the action before the final's in, I think.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see with 4 groups in 2024 whether they still manage to get India and Pakistan in the same one.
They may not. They may not that time, just in case of jeopardy of being them knocked out.
Is there a quarter-final in 2024?
No, it's 2 groups after that.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they fix it to have them in the second round rather than the initial group.
Possibly. It's a joke. There's no transparency with these draws and fixture arranging, especially when there is a considerable advantage to playing last in the group. And oh look, it's India and England.
Rajesh Mohan says, I said England-New Zealand final at Melbourne on Sunday. Well, it'd be interesting. I want New Zealand to win in the 4th super over when Hales trips over Owen Morgan's microphone cord.
I didn't see it, but apparently there was a bit the other night where Hales was being interviewed and Morgan standing next to him, which might have been a bit awkward. Grava is back again. That was a wide for the taking, but the batsman thought, you know what, I'm just going to get 4. Big full toss outside off stump, played down to third man for 4.
Oops, sorry, I'm multitasking here.
I can see you waving in the wrong direction.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Nice bit of placement, even if it was a bit of a freebie. Made sure he got 4 for that. And India taking off. And not too surprisingly, taking off against the seamers. Spinners were giving them a bit of a problem, but that'll just give some encouragement to Axar and Ashwin. 129 for 4. Surya Kumar Yadav, 18 off 10. Faces up to Ngarava. It's a wide. He had a swing at it, but it is surely going to be a wide. No? Really?
Oh, you're kidding.
That's surely a wide. That's outside the advisory line when it pitched.
He didn't particularly step towards it.
I'm surprised. I'm really surprised that's not being given as a wide.
Very surprised. Unless he's flicked it into the ground as it's gone through.
That could be the only reason, I think, that he must have got a tiny little scratch on it.
Because that was halfway between the two wide lines. He's gone across for that one. He's helicoptered it over fine leg. Is it long enough? I think it is. It is indeed into the advertising hoardings for 6. And that is the problem when you telegraph that you're exclusively trying to bowl full wide outside off stump.
Yeah.
Yadav just stepped across, and it was a little bit too full as well, and helicopter scooped it over fine leg.
It's the helicopter full top edge, isn't it?
I think
not going to hurt.
I think I'll give him a scoop on that one. I think he got underneath that one. Fine leg was up anyway.
Yeah, can he play? He's targeting the safe area of the pitch.
Absolutely, he's very, very aware of that, Yadav, and he's on 24 of 12. He's gone for it again. He's hit him on the pads. Good stop by the keeper, which saved 3, definitely. Yeah. Keeper dived across and parried it to short third man.
Yeah,
might have been wide as well if he'd left it.
Without that glove, that would have been... I don't think, was it Musa Rabbani would have got there in time to stop that going past him before.
No chance, no. Must be a great feeling just to clip one of those shots away, look round and you see a whole stand of fans on their feet, waving their arms, cheering.
Well, just the feeling of connecting with one and knowing there's nothing going to stop it going for 6.
Yeah. No changeman Garava, no deception here, but he does get away with a single for that one. It's full and wide outside of stump and hit out to deep cover for a single.
That's exactly what he's been trying to do for 4 balls, and at least finally he's executed one.
Yeah, executed one for a single, but the others have gone for a few. 6 and a 4. So 12 off the over with 1 ball to go. And yeah, again, there's no deception. India have absolutely set their field for this bowling. Zimbabwe have, sorry. Pointless graphic. We're going to get ball in a minute. Here we come. That's better. That's a slower length ball, and I think he did get an edge on it, but it bounced well in front of the keeper. It's the end of the over. 30 off the last 12 balls, and India have 3 overs to go, 137 for 4.
Ajit at Armchair Cricket Podcast says, from 79 for 1 after 10 overs, India have decelerated to score 28 for 3 in the next 5. Will they even make 160 here? Good question.
I think they will now.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Mog says a Pakistan-India final would reap vast rewards in viewer numbers and have the added bonus of potentially starting a medium-scale war on the subcontinent. You love your war, don't you, Mog? And somebody on the Gorilla Cricket account, I suspect someone in the Bishopric area, in response to Mog's tweet that the crocodile strikes again, says they'll take another one in a while, to which Mog said, well played.
Well, Zimbabwe, not surprisingly, sticking with seam at this point. Big risk to bowl spinner now. Hardik, who's been second fiddle, punches that one not too long off. That will be a single. Well, even if India-Pakistan final does get 1 billion grillion viewers, does that actually translate to money for the ICC? I mean, they can't say, right now we're charging you more to show the final.
Yes, it's a fixed staging right, isn't it? They don't get anything extra over the top, I don't think. But they do hold the media rights, so it just means they get more next time round potentially.
Potentially, yeah. Shatara's done okay so far, 20 off 19 balls. Here he comes again. Surya Kumar on strike. Beautifully executed scoop. Over fine leg. It's just going to have the legs. Yep, it just beats the desperate dive of Musa of Ngarava. And that's 4 more. He's got all the angles, Surya Kumar. He really has. He gives the impression he can. It doesn't matter where you set the field or where you bowl, he'll find a gap somewhere.
Yeah,
so
he's a modern T20 cricketer.
He's the modern T20 cricketer.
And now
so, Zimbabwe doing their best. They've got 2 men short on the offside behind point. They've got mid-off and cover short, and everyone else is on the boundary. So you would think he's going to fire it into middle and leg. That's short and scooped up again. Has he got enough of that? Just. There wasn't much pace on that one, so he only just got it past short third man. Will pick up 2. That's good bowling, a bit more variation.
Yeah, that's the loopy tennis ball slower bouncer, isn't it? That you've got to put all the pace on it yourself.
Yeah, difficult to do that with the uppercut. So he's got away with 2 there. But Surya Kumar's back on strike. Pictures of the gawking rabble. Pictures of the crowd.
The Bharat army.
Yeah. But it doesn't. And the bowler runs in with 2 steps to the wicket. Standard. That's a good ball. Full outside off stump. And it's just gets a bat on it up to mid-off for a single.
It's a good ball that. He just, wide and full. Can't really get much power into it.
Slower again. So he's got away with 8 from 4 balls so far this over. Only 1 boundary. Hardick's back on strike. He's been a little bit in the shadow in this partnership.
If he gets out of this over with another 3 runs, I think he'll have done really well.
Yep, it was a testament to the power of these batsmen that you're happy to concede 11 off an over, but you would be. That's a good ball, Yorker. It's going to be punched up to long on for a single.
Yeah, Hardick's not really managed to connect with one yet, has he? It's all been deflections rather than smashes.
Well, he's more of a power batsman. He doesn't have the subtlety of Yadav.
That's what I mean.
He really wants something in his slot that he can just hit 100 metres.
And I think the changes of the paces are not allowing him to set a base and just swing through the ball.
But Chitara's, I think, bowled 3 balls in a row around 75 miles an hour. It's almost slow with the odd quicker ball.
Dermot Reeve.
Dernbach.
Yeah, when you can bowl 90 miles an hour, why would you bowl so many slower balls, Jade Dernbach?
Yes, 4 balls and over at 75. I think people worked that out at the end. That one's high over extra cover. Yep, it's got the distance. Beautiful shot. So he couldn't get out of the over. It's gone for 15, and India are 152 for 4, 2 overs to go.
The light roller says the word boutique makes.
Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex.
And there, Surya Kumar's reached his 1,000 runs in T20s this year. The light roller says the word boutique makes me shudder. It brings to mind an expensive ladies' clothing store with snooty assistants. Somewhere I'd rather not be. The dubious term gourmet barbecues has a similar effect on me. And Mog says, yeah, I get that when people mention heirloom Dutch carrots as well. And Brian 001 sends us a photo, I presume from his back window, of a fairly gloomy. He says he responded to a picture that I tweeted yesterday that showed some greenery outside my window. It says it's grey and cold here in Northampton.
Yeah, and for those of us Scots or northern disposition, it's very dreary here in Gorilla Towers as well.
Yeah, it's absolutely chucking it down here.
Makes me quite nostalgic.
Yeah, slot ball that last one, and Yadav took full advantage.
God, he's good.
Stands and watches that one. He knows that's 6.
Didn't really hit that hard, just timed the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Yep, check drive. Check drive through the line. And drop to the crowd yet again.
There was a
Hardick, now he gets one away up towards deep point, but is there a man underneath it? No, it's one bounce and over the rope.
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary, crossing a boundary.
There was a spectacular catch taken in the South African game in the crowd this morning. One of the best catches of the tournament. Just a one-hander. Blake stuck his hand out and it stuck.
Barney is back into the attack, and he's already gone for 37, plus 4 off that ball. See what he does this time. It's a little bit slower and in length, and Hardick has a huge swing, gets an inside edge out to deep square. That should be 2. They're coming back for it. Throw to the wrong end there.
And he's pinned by the throw coming back to the bowler's end.
Does get pinged by the ball. There was just a moment in that Pakistan game this morning where Pakistan were wobbling, and Bangladesh had a fantastic chance of a run out with the batsman 14 yards away, hurled it at the stumps when he could have taken some steps in and then had a better angle.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're trained to just wang the ball in as soon as they get it, but a bit of composure would help sometimes.
No, it's pressure does amazing things to people. I mean, how can you miss Stuart Broad from 3 yards to lose the game? The only thing that you could do to lose a game.
Well bowled again by Musrabani. It's a leg stump Yorker. Oof. I think they might have looked for 2 there.
Yeah. What, penultimate over or the last over? Got to be on your skates now.
Yeah, they kind of ambled one and it still wasn't in the fielder's hand when they completed that one. But Yadav is back on strike. 159 for 4, 9 balls to go.
Maybe that was the plan.
Maybe. I wonder if one batsman had that plan and the other didn't.
What, you mean Syria doing some Jeff Boycott style batting to make sure that he's on strike?
It's the only way you could compare it to Jeff Boycott.
Yes, absolutely.
Well bowled again, but Syria, come on, found the shot. I mean, that was almost a perfect Yorker, but he's still driven it past the bowler. Mid-off is up, and that's 4.
Wow. That went like a tracer bullet.
Missed it by centimetres. And Yadav with those bottom-heavy bats has given the fielder no chance.
That's rough.
Yeah, it's a big learning curve for Musrabani to now bowling at the one of the best. Well, he's the best T20 batsman in the world, I think, and certainly one of the best finishers as well. Slower, it's launched. I think he's got enough on that one as well. Well, in fact, again, but he hasn't. But mid-off was up. It totally plugged, so Raza can reel it in and get 2. It's another one didn't go quite as far as I thought. Absolute sitter if mid-off was back, but Yadav knows where the fielders are.
That went a long way up.
Yeah, Raza's making good ground to that, and he's still 5 yards in front of him when it plugs.
Yeah, almost backspin, almost golf backspin on that one. Musrabani, I think all he's got to do here is not bowl a wide or a no ball. What happens, happens. 13 of this over, and he's brought up his 50. It's again difficult day, and yeah, bowled a decent ball. Surya went for the scoop. For once, he missed it. He missed off stump. It's the end of the over, 165 for 4.
Mog says, but Chitara is bowling faster than Chris Harris, right?
Just.
And Tony Bishop sends a photo from the green room of a delivery from the wonderful Brian 001.
You did beg for that one.
I did.
Yeah.
I wasn't necessarily expecting him to deliver, but he did, and thank you very much, Brian. I'm loving my warming and waking up coffee.
Well, Tony's been very smart. It's a very welcome gift to our studio from Brian as we cover the match. I shall save my brownie for the wonderful Vivian Porritt, his partner, in the hope of some brownie points.
Brownie points, yeah.
That's so you, Tony.
He's the daddy of the dad jokes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
So we're up to date on Twitter. Thank you, Brian, though, and thank you for your gifts to me as well. Your generosity is really very, very touching.
A bit generous from Garava, who bowls another huge wide outside off stump and a no ball. A no ball on height as well, which I guess takes preference. I'm not sure it was that high, but that makes it worse because now it's a free hit.
I'm just trying to find the right jingle for that. Bear with me, 'cause I've got to find it.
Yeah, it was. That was everything. It was a chest high wide, 2 feet outside the line.
Right, I think this is the one.
Got that one right. I don't know why the bail fell off. No idea. Hasn't hit wicket there somehow, has he?
No.
Because the ball was nowhere near it. I didn't see the keeper throwing it. I'd like to have another look at that one. We'll probably get some stupid shot of someone in the crowd instead. Now here we go. He did hit it! It's hit wicket!
Oh,
hit wicket with the, he's hit the top of the bail and no one's noticed.
Well, it doesn't matter, it was a free hit.
Oh, it doesn't matter, it was a free hit, yeah.
This one isn't.
That one isn't. It's another wide Yorker. Gosh, they've really been testing us in this tournament. That was another wide Yorker. Providing that wasn't a butt ball, it's actually out because Hardick got the Q end of the bat on it. Straight to short third man. And that's out. Well, that's a new one. Hit wicket off a free hit.
Yeah. Oh dear, that's funny.
And he gets out the next ball anyway.
The interesting thing is the stat they just showed. That now means that Zimbabwe's bowled 5 hits in this tournament. They've only gone for 7 runs in total.
No, that's been happening for a year or two. The
Yes.
free hits haven't been going for so many runs. The bowlers have figured out that they should bowl quite differently because there's no chance of taking a wicket.
Fielders are, the fielding side are getting very canny about free hit deliveries now. Even if you're not allowed necessarily to change the field, you can change the length and pace of delivery, and they're working out what works against what batsman to limit their maximum score they can get on that particular ball.
Shall we get a jingle for the new batsman?
Yep, we shall. Let me just.
Especially because I like this one.
It's quite long. You might have to talk over it.
That's a wide first. Got a single as well.
Extra, because if we can score runs, then it's the spin that will bring him some wickets.
And Garava omitted to change his line. He was still trying to bowl the full Yorker to the batsman's to the left-hand side, even though it's a left-hander. That's why that one was a wide. So again, 2 wide so far in this, and no runs off the bat so far in this over. Wide dot wicket, wide with a run. Garava's in again. Again, there's no deception. Sirikumar steps across and laps it over deep backward square. You've got to have some variation or that's going to happen. It's 6.
Oh, I say, chap, give me any lip.
That's been mogged to the boundary.
Yeah, it was also too full. It was at least a foot off the ground. And it would, if he'd stem left it, it would have been a wide as well.
It's a fair old fetch to put that over deep square
It
leg.
is. It's very. He almost has to give it a bit of helicopter from there, but he's perfectly capable of doing that. And India now looking north of 180. And Surya 49 off 22. He is the best. Only 6 dot balls in those 22 balls. Facing up again, isn't Garava going to vary it? Nope. He's giving him another go. Again, it would have been a wide. He might have been better off taking it because he's just hit it out to deep backward point. Going to get 2. Brings up Surya's 50.
Well done.
And really, if Garava's going to bowl the last over on a regular basis, he's got to find a bit more variation.
He's not tried the flappy, slow.
He's not tried anything apart from trying to hit that Yorker on the wide line.
Not very well.
Yeah, it's a difficult skill as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Surya's back on strike. That's a good news for India. 2 balls to go. 176 for 5. Let's see. Yep, no surprise, and Surya's done it again. Swept him over backward square leg. This time for 4.
This is brain dead bowling of the Stokes level of T20 bowling in
Yeah,
2015.
I'll try the same thing again and see what happens.
There's not one boy for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
I think Einstein had something to say about that. We were
Yes.
talking about cricket.
Well, it's the definition of madness, wasn't it?
Yeah. And
Jason, it turns out your plea for coffee wasn't necessary. Brian said he didn't hear the request for coffee. I was still waking myself up after finishing work at 10 p.m. last night. And he wants to know later if the brownie points worked.
Depends what in it. Depends if it's a special brownie. Which you always have to be careful of with snacks around the bear's house.
Yes, I can imagine.
No, that literally happened to me. There were some gummies that were
There were THC gummies.
enhanced. Yes, I must admit, I played it up a bit, but it actually didn't feel any different at all.
Well, they've got their 180, and that's undone all the good work that some of their spin bowlers have been doing earlier.
Yes, but couldn't be helped really with Surya Kumar's set. It's always going to be very difficult for the seamers in the last 4 overs, and it has proved a bit too much for them. Chitara did okay, and Garava to finish the over. No surprises for where he's bowled it. No surprises for where Yadav has put it. 6 over fine leg.
Wow, that's a lovely shot. That's great.
Almost took his own head off with that one. I think that was 6.
Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6.
Yes, it was.
Let's talk
well, they're only showing
about
4.
6.
They are showing 4. It looked like 6 to me, but we're not at the ground. And they haven't quite decided yet. They may be just about to check that one. Let's have a look. Same ball, pretty much the same shot, a little bit more flick over the shoulder, and yeah, that's
a
6.
six. We are right.
Don't know why anybody thought that was 4.
That means they scored 79 from the last 5 overs.
Yep, and that has certainly put India into what I think is an unassailable position in this game.
Yeah, almost doubling their score off the last 5 overs, which is, frankly...
Well, not really. They added about 70% to it.
That's Mog again. Mog tweeted the other day, they always predict 186, and we finally got it. We've had 184, 285s, and now we've got 186. There you go.
Well, they did. What are we going to do? Should we have a quick break?
Can do.
Yeah, let's do that, because I'm back on in 5 minutes anyhow.
Me too, yeah.
Let me just queue up some Broad Dick Weller Howzat Trophy footage. And see if we'll see you in 10-15 minutes.
Love to see him get 100 here at Trent Bridge. Anyway, coming to the crease is post 1984 Sir Ian Terry Botham.
He's going to face Devon Malcolm.
That's
In Alka Blow.
Be fair, Beefy has got boring. That's right, it's be.
If you have
I've got free-to-air TV here, so I'm live as well.
Okay, so we can manage.
Yeah.
Although, so I'll stick on ball by ball as that was the plan. Kumar's going to come in again. It's an in-swinger that time. It's hit on the pad. It's not a bad shout, but the umpire agrees with me that it's probably going down leg. Chikagva is the new batsman. Sorry, all a bit chaotic at the start there. Frantic messages of stop the dice cricket going to the green room. India are reviewing this one, but I don't think it's out. So what's been on Twitter on the break, Jez?
Mog says, what a filthy and insulting waste of time and effort those Cryptos NFT things are. And Armchair Cricket Podcast says, though Kohli and Surya have faced the same number of balls, is anyone surprised that Surya has hit 35 more runs?
No. Rohit and Virat in that innings, 41 off 38.
Yeah.
So there's no bat on that one. It is the in-swinger from Bhuvi. It's going to swing down towards leg. Right, I can go back to our Zoom chat soon, which will be back in, would be more in sync. It has missing leg stomp, and will probably be better for my CPU as well. Right, normal service, as much as it ever is resumed. Probably had another dot ball there. We did. Now that's not a bad shout either, but I'm pretty sure he's got some bat on that one. India would have lost a review for that first one, but it was missing the stumps. And Ninja, you can join us. You seem to be on mute at the moment.
Oh, thank you for telling me. I hadn't noticed. Yep. I was speaking into nothingness.
We sometimes wonder if it's any different. Yeah. And played back down the wicket, and what a start for Bhuvi Kumar. Wicket from the first ball, wicket maiden. Zimbabwe 0 for 1. A Ninja. India should be fairly comfortable from here.
Oh, I think so. I think this is the kind of score Zimbabwe would be very hard pressed to get. They honestly have a better bowling attack than a batting one. So
yeah, like a lot of the associates. Yeah.
But that was quite an innings. I mean, I was watching that inning from Sky. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, he's the best. Yeah.
Yeah. Leah says not the start Zimbabwe wanted, probably. That goes without saying, I think.
Not for one.
But
that's only only slightly worse than KL Rahul.
Yeah, only slightly. But Netherlands were quite happy. I imagine Stephen Kelk is very pleased right now.
Right, change of bowling. Give you his jingle in a second. No surprises as to who it is. Going to be more swing for these batsmen. That one is pushed down to point. The fielders are all over it.
And then this guy called Arshdeep Singh. The obvious jokes will be entertained here.
Seven balls, no runs yet for Zimbabwe. Tough chase of 187. Way indeed. So many shots of different things, and then the bowler's going to turn up with one pace to the wicket. You always got to be on your toes here. Slip, yeah, there he goes. A bit of swing there towards those two slips.
Oh, okay.
A little bit too short to find the edge, and a little bit too much movement.
Well, I mean, they're on the same score as India was at the same stage, apart from the wicket.
They are. If you want to do the old as it stands comparison. Not a great shot there.
Yeah. The as it stands comparison with India in the as it stands comparison with India in the first 2 overs of any match in this World Cup, the opposition would have come out on top.
Most likely. They like to have a look, KL and Rohit. Oh, and there's the other one, comes back in. He's almost doing too much here, Arshdeep, because that beats the bat and was clearly going down the leg side. But another test for these Zimbabwe batsmen. He's been really good in this tournament, Arshdeep.
He has indeed. I think he's getting used to the MCG, the movement again. Adelaide was very different.
Yeah, I'd like to see him just push his length up a little bit. from that length it's doing a bit too much. All the chaos, I don't think we really got to jingle any batsmen, so maybe we could do that in a second.
Got that back in.
It goes away, it bounces in front of Pant, it's going to be a wide, plus some extras. Someone in boobies round to pick it up, so it's wides. You waved at me, Tony, am I hearing a jingle?
No, because I thought it had gone for 4. Therefore, I was switching gear on what jingle I was going to play.
Differentiate your signals, because that just looked like,
oh my
shut
God.
up, I'm playing
Now
a jingle.
Now you're asking for different
some
signals.
flags.
Jesus Christ.
Zimbabwe are underway somehow. It's 2 for 1. Arshdeep will still be left arm over to the right-hander. Chakabva facing his 6th ball. Swings in, bowls in.
Oh, beautiful ball.
Yeah, nice. Too much for Chapavka. Chakabva, I should say, because it's the last time I'm going to have to say it today.
Yes.
That just reminds me so much of Wasimakam. I mean,
a little bit of a budget was the background, not quite the height or pace. Especially hit him on the pad. I'm sure it was clattering into leg stump anyway. Pad diverts it onto off.
You'll love the Jaffa. You'll love the juicy way to Jaffa's healthy glow.
Very appealing, Max Jaffa.
2 for 2.
Right, let's catch up with some jingles. Can you jingle Williams, who's been Irvine, sorry, who's been standing watching this with horror from the other end?
I always thought it was a plonker. It turns out that he's a tonker. All in the day's work for Krieg Irvine.
And Sean Williams is going to be the new batsman.
If I had Sean Williams' number, if I had Sean Williams' number, I'd rankle him a lot.
Well, there haven't been too many dead games in this tournament, which is to its credit. But this one is, and now it's super is, because I don't think there's any doubt about the result. Arshdeep is in, gets the in-swinger again, played up to mid-on. So feel free to do some improvised material or give us your tight 5 or anything you'd like the rest of this innings.
Well, I've got a very good tweet that Angelic Scooters has retweeted for us from Michael Appleton, which I'll go through in a minute. It's got the highest strike rates in this World Cup for minimum of 40 balls and the lowest strike rates. The highest is Yadav at 194, then 190 for Allen, 177 for Shabbat Downs.
And back to the bowler who lets it go through carelessly. They'll get 1. Should just be 1 row it with the fielding. Direct hit. Hardik skips out of the way. That's the end of the over. Yes. 3 for 1. 3 for 2. Sorry.
So the highest strike rates are Yadav at 194, then Allen, Shadab, Russo, Phillips, Camphor, Maxwell and Steiners on 162 and de Kock on 161. The lowest strike rates are Baba on 62, Aravind on 68, Shikabva on 78. So no huge players apart from Baba in the bottom of the list. The cricket slouch says, talking about Hardik and Suryakumar. At a recent discussion, I pointed out how when most of us go Gaga over KL Rahul and Virat scoring at 135 plus, Suryakumar scores 170 plus, and then those guys score 150 plus. Suryakumar scores at 190 plus. Not surprised at all. He should be batting at 3 to maximise the number of deliveries he faces.
It seems to be working well where he is. I'm not sure I'd want to fix that. It's clearly not broken.
Yep, I agree.
That one swings away outside the off stump of the left-hander. And there's going to be no run. And I think a lot of not many people going gaga over Rohit's form in this World Cup. If they are, then they're gaga themselves. Kumar's in again to Williams. Again away from left-hander, he drops the bat on it, fielders in quickly, fumbles the ball, doesn't matter, prevents the run.
Rohit's form has been down for a while. It's not at the World Cup per se. I mean, they had a lot of matches leading up to that, and he wasn't really batting convincingly in any of them.
No, Bhuvi Kumar only 1 wicket so far in this World Cup. A little bit of a surprise. He's certainly got a good chance.
He's been bowling well, though.
He has been bowling well. I mean, Arshdeep's been picking up all the wickets because they've been bowling very well as a pair. And again, and there we go. That's a lovely ball.
I have no idea how that missed the stump and his bat.
Angled in towards midland leg. I don't think Sean Williams had much idea either. Angled in towards midland leg. Swings away late. Flashes past the top of off stump. Beautiful bowling from Kumar. But again, no reward.
Wow.
That is like a millimetre from his gloves, I think.
That's good bowling. Williams has actually done well not to follow that. He's held his line and that saved him. That one's a little bit too short and he's able to push it between the eye of the needle of those two fielders at point. And he will get back for 2.
Well, he's the most experienced batsman in the team, so...
Yeah, not really sure what Zimbabwe can do from here. I said that they can have a bit of a bat or they can throw their wickets away trying to chase an emotional 180. Either's good, I suppose. They're 5 for 2 at the moment. And they've got 8.
They could do a Netherlands.
Which is what?
Beat India.
Well, a different position in a slightly different way.
Yes.
Not putting much money on it. That one's put that to cover. Depends what odds I'm getting, I suppose. Zimbabwe must be at least 100 down from here.
You'd imagine.
Excuse me while I have a quick look. They are 200 to 1, if you fancy a punt.
Yeah.
Well, Messi, that does mean you're not going to win much money, right? Yeah, you had something on Zimbabwe winning the World Cup?
No, it was Ireland. I had.
It was Ireland.
$5 each way at 500 to 1.
Okay. Not going to see that again.
No. Well, it wasn't mine anyhow. It was a bonus bit. So there you go.
Oh, okay. That one is actually a wide from Bhuvi. Blots his copybook a little bit. Too far down the leg side.
Angelic Scooters is paging the pawn bot on the Arshdeep ball.
Bhuvi's in again, swings in, he's bowling over the wicket now, and that has run off the pad down to 3rd man. Zimbabwe go on to 7, although more of them are extras than runs off the bat. End of the over at 7 for 2 off 3.
Leah says Arshdeep should do his best Martin Sheen impression after that wicket. Who's next? Mog says, who plays the weirdo helicopter flail scoop better? Surya Kumar or Rashid Khan? It's interesting. I mean, Rashid Khan's is different, isn't it?
It is different, and I think Surya has actually has a higher percentage of knowing where the ball's going.
Oh, yeah, I think that's right. Infinitely higher. Yes, it's much. I love Rashid Khan, but of the two, yeah, Surya Kumar.
I mean, Rashid Khan surprises himself sometimes, I think.
Surprised is Australia in that game, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Arshdeep's going to continue. Here he comes, left arm over to the left hand. It's going to be a wide. He started it too wide and it went a bit further. I think it was Dan Brettig said on Twitter that Australia went out because of the runs Rashid Khan scored against them and then Lorcan Tucker scored against them. What do you want, Tony? I am halfway through something. But then someone pointed out, yeah, and they lost that first game by 1 million runs.
That's exactly right, yeah. And they wouldn't have got anywhere if they got into the semi-finals anyhow.
Well, who knows? I mean, you know, if Netherlands can win a game, why not Australia?
Yeah. T20.
Into the pads. It's the batsman went for a run, I think, and thought better of it. Wisely so. Up to mid-on, there wasn't a run there.
Actually, spending it round corners.
He is.
Yeah.
He's doing too much with it, if anything.
And his line's all over the place, unfortunately.
That's why. I can, it's not from being even playing the same sport, but I can rather speak from experience. When it's swinging a lot at 40 miles an hour, it will go all over the place. Archedeep's in, 2 slips, that's the ball. Started on 4th, ended up on 6th. Williams not very near to that one with a drive.
The shots that Sky hit, which they're showing on television again, I mean, what do you say? That straight drive, I absolutely love that.
Yes, that was, for me, that might have been the best one, because he missed his Yorker by a couple of inches. And he still drilled it past him for 4.
I mean, the Zimbabwe players were just looking, what?
So let's say you're England in the semi-final, and India are 60 for 1 off 9. I'll come in a second. Archedeep is in, full, played up to mid-on, taking a run. It's a close one, because those fielders are quite close. Is Irving just holding the back of his leg there? Not sure. Anyway, you're England. You've got India 60 for 1 off 9. Virat and Rohit are batting. Do you really want to get Sky in?
No.
Yeah. It's a jeopardy, isn't it?
Get your best bowlers in, let them keep the runs under check until these guys get frustrated. By that time, maybe it's too late for Sky.
Irvin would have been short there, just short, and he did definitely just hold the back of his leg after that run. So I'm not sure if he's 100%, or he might get Dawid Maland here. Irvin is on strike, swings in, played nicely through the leg side, out into the wide open spaces. There should be a man out there. No, there isn't. They're going to have to chase after it, and they're not going to get there.
Parakachos says a budget Wasamakram sounds good to this miser.
Yeah, it's not bad. There are worse budget things that you could be. And something for the Zimbabwean fans in the stands to cheer. Why not? They're having a good time.
Yeah.
Certainly enjoyed beating Pakistan. Those fielders creeping up very close on the offside as India tighten the screws. Archedeep will be in again momentarily. Here he comes. And again flashes past the outside edge. That was one that didn't do so much. That's more what he's looking for, but it still did enough to beat the edge.
Well, Arshdeep Singh's presence in the Indian team seems to have got a significant number of Sikhs into the stands, more than you'd normally see at a cricket game for some reason.
Well, there were certainly a lot of Sikhs when I went last Sunday, both on the train and in the stands. I was really surprised because I didn't realise there was a big Sikh population in Perth, to be honest.
India set a 7-2 field for Arshdeep. You don't see that very often. At all.
But they're not expecting him to stray there, that's for sure.
Well, he did the previous ball. Went for 4. I would never say.
Which is probably why, when you were surprised there was no one there.
Yes. As a captain, bowler said he wants a 7-2 field. I would always flat refuse. It just makes him bowl too wide.
So somebody on the Guerrilla Cricket account very courageously tweeted at the start of the innings, well, Zimbabwe's highest score so far is 174, but proud and fearless attack might get them there. And Eddie Brown 15 just says 8 for 2. Yeah, right.
I don't think you needed to wait for 8 for 2 for that one.
No, it's true.
Against who did they get that? That's also the question.
That's a good question.
Ireland.
I've got no idea. There you go. Thanks, Tony.
Kumar is in. Oh, batsman tried to withdraw his bat, and he's finally, ironically, by doing that, managed to hit it. Goes down to third man for a single. A friend of mine has just tweeted an awful joke by Sachin Tendulkar that got 46.
It is awful. I read that one.
Got 46,000 likes.
And he's got about 100,000 people going against him on that one and telling him that if you're never going to take a stand on anything in your life, don't start now.
Oh dear, Sachin doesn't do jokes, does he?
No, he doesn't. No. He tried though.
either he has a horrible PR firm or he's just between two of them.
Most of them do. Most of them do have their tweets written for them. There was another good ball from Kumar, almost unnoticed. He was going over the wicket to the left-hander and he just slanted it away. And really, these
they're off on
bowlers,
Sundays.
maybe they let Given Sachin got the password back. Yeah, these batsmen have just beaten the edge so often. And Zimbabwe may be a bit fortunate only to be 2 down. Kumar again. That one did a little bit too much. Batsman still waved after it, but this is also comparable to India's first 10 balls at least, in that the batsmen really haven't got much bat on ball.
Yeah.
Except that this is what, the 5th over?
Yes, yeah, exactly. They did say just for 9 or 10 balls. India did wave a few through, then they got going. 14 for 2. That one's the one that comes back in, and that's a nice shot from Irvin. It beats mid-on, and he's going to get 4.
Hey.
1, 2, 3, 4.
He's an excellent bat when he gets going, but I think after the first match, I don't think he's got going at all. It's Sean Williams who's been sort of bringing the runs in.
Yes, well, as you said, the games they've won have been more down to their bowling than their batting. But I think they should still be reasonably pleased with their tournament.
Oh, I think so. I think they'll be very pleased.
Onto the pads again, and that one is clipped down to long leg. The fielder may get there, but he's got a long way to get round on the MCG. They could pick up 3, will pick up 3 with a relay throw.
I think they should also be very pleased with the standard of jingles that they got. I think they were blessed, put it like that.
Well, if you can arrange to get Mog's jingles on a USB key, I could arrange to have it sent to them.
Well, you can get access to all our jingles, can't you? It's not the Patreon.
No, this is true. This is true.
It's on the website somewhere.
It is on the website.
Yeah.
Well,
same again from Kumar. Fades away from the batsman. Williams is nowhere near it. It's 21 for 2 off 5.
Well, we are up to date on tweets. That actually gives me an appropriate time to mention Patreon, which is the way in which we manage to pay our bills. It's the support we receive from those of you who are able to do so and support us with a small monthly pledge to keep us going. And in return for that, we have a weekly newsletter, a weekly podcast, access to our Discord channels. And if you choose to put in, I think it's £7 a week or more, a month or more, your name will be on the roll of honour that goes across our YouTube screen constantly. So if you go to patreon.com/Gorilla Cricket, you can see all the options on there, and we'd love you to be able to support us because we do have quite a lot of expenses just getting this out. Unfortunately, none of them are in the form of salary.
Not at all. But if you haven't heard enough of me in this tournament, I'm actually on the latest version of the Bishop and the Bear podcast. Shami is into bowl. Can we get the jingle, Tony, as he runs that one down to third man?
When he gets thrown the ball, he goes back to the top of his mark, where he stops and he turns and he goes for a strike, and he gets to the green and he bowls it again. Yeah. But don't you want to face him? He's coming down fast and moving it too. Tell me the answer. He may be a...
And he's in again. That one is punched out to cover for no run. Shami's certainly a man who is only in the team because Bumrah isn't there, but he's done okay, hasn't he, in India?
Yes, he has, and the reason why he's not made it into the T20 international team in the recent past is because of his limited availability to bowl Yorkers.
Mm-hmm.
So when he was dropped, apparently what he did was he went away to where he comes from, which is a few hundred miles from Calcutta, and he was bowling 100 balls a day with a wet ball to get his Yorkers right, and he's right back. He's been bowling amazing Yorkers.
Yeah, that's the attention to detail. That's what you need to be doing. You can't just keep turning up these days, or other people overtake you and working harder. Did well there. That was played back into the leg side, but Shami stepped across and picked it up. Had a throw at the stumps. Shouldn't think there was any jeopardy. I don't know though. Kept the batsman honest, certainly.
Yeah. There were a lot of questions when he was brought back, but obviously the team management had seen him bowl, so which fans had not.
Well, you'd hope so. India 22 for 2 in the 6th. Power play has not gone their way. And only 3 balls still remaining in it. This might be one of the lowest power plays in the tournament. That one is hit up towards fine leg, but they're going to change that with a 6. Bit of a no-look 6, really. And much needed for Williams, who was on 5 or 15 before that one. And yeah, he turned his head away, swung his bat through, and got enough on it to help it away for 6.
Yeah, his mates in the dugout looked a bit bemused at that one.
Yeah, the players can all see that was a bit of a no-look 6. Ashwin was interested for a moment, but not for long.
Yeah, decided to save his own life.
Yep.
And not get in the way.
Umpire's having a look at the ball because it did clonk into that advertising hoarding. May have taken a little bit of damage, actually. He's going to consult with his mate.
Yeah. It looks like the skin is very rough in that spot.
There haven't been too many balls being changed during this World Cup, right?
That's true. But then unless they do hit a piece of concrete or something. Really hard,
in T20s.
Very long.
Yeah. But we are going to change this one. They're all walking off. What's on Twitter while this is happening?
Not a great deal, to be honest. Hang on a second, I'll just go back there from YouTube. Imagine says, I was thinking about the team at the tournament today in the context that no Australian will be in it. So far I have in batting order Hales, Conway, Virat, Suryakumar Yadav, Phillips, Shadab, Iskaran, Khan, Nortje, Singh and Wood.
Yes,
Was troubled by the openers.
I'm not sure why Arshdeep isn't in there. That might be the only change I would make.
But Singh, who is Singh? Singh is Arshdeep.
Singh of Ireland, I think, yeah.
Singh of Ireland?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, it's an interesting mix, isn't it? Mog's saying he can send you a zip of those jingles if that helps for you, and
sure.
You can put them on the stick yourself. Yeah, brilliant.
Flash that outside off stump, back of a length from Shami.
But he can just put it on a Google Drive, it's easier.
Okay. I'm sure he heard that.
28 for 2, 1 ball to go in the power play. If not the lowest of the tournament, it's certainly one of the lowest. And Zimbabwe a long way away from that target of 187. The seagull on the pitch, not looking bothered by anything. Of course that gets more camera time than anything we need to know. Finally the bowler comes in, and that's flashed away down towards third man. He could be in business for a catch. He is. Kumar just moved 5 yards to his left. Williams, who had a very difficult time of it, 11 off 18, and 6 of those were without looking at the ball. He's finally gone, end of the power play, 28 for 3.
Sally R56 says, for fuck's sake, the Singh isn't Sammy Singh, it's Arshdeep Singh.
Oh, well, everyone calls him Arshdeep. Okay, well, that makes more sense.
Yes. It's something you need to sit down for 5 minutes and actually think through, isn't it? We're up to date on Twitter, over on YouTube. Suda, who's been chatting away. Stephen Kelk, who of course is in the Netherlands, says, did I hear a disparaging Netherlands reference there, Andy? Beware the orange hammer of vengeance.
I don't think I did.
Stephen's in a very, very happy mood today, I must say, although he's probably very sad that he slept through it all. But, you know,
well, where's your commitment?
Yeah, it was all night, what, from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. Dutch time, so I reckon I can understand that.
A new batsman.
Sikander, watch your story. Sikander, cack your tongue.
He's going to be on strike now because Irwin has edged the ball down to third man for a single. We're going to have a change at the end of this over, the remainder of this game. Once again, good opportunity for any other commentators to bring out some of their lesser known anecdotes, because I don't think the import of the game is going to trouble us too much.
Most of them have done the rounds, haven't they?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Colin points out that it's interesting the leading run story. Oh no, Virat is in that team. Sorry, Colin was
Virat
saying
is,
no, Virat.
Yeah.
Virat is in that team, so that's all right.
I think there are 3 Indians: Virat, Sky, and Arshdeep, which I think is a fair choice.
Tapped into the leg side. Hardik is into bowl, and Sikandar Raza brings up his 3,000th 20 over career runs, but that includes domestic games in Zimbabwe, pub matches in the evening, beach cricket, everything, I think.
You're being unfair now, Andy.
I'm only poking fun at the statisticians. I don't know why we need to have domestic stats in these kind of things.
That 100 in the backyard at Mum's, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Good bowling again from Hardik. Even he's finding a bit of swing, which he doesn't normally. Sends that one past Irvin's outside edge.
But if he was a white Zimbabwean, his mum's backyard would be as big as an MCG.
Probably, yeah.
But since he was born in Pakistan, it's unlikely. I would suggest.
We got a no ball? Yes, we do. Doesn't get any better. It does get slightly better in Zimbabwe. We've got a free hit. Hardik is, clearly over the line. So what can they do with this? It's short. You can only club it into the leg side for a single. Going back to our point.
No, didn't even get a single.
No, they didn't.
Well,
no.
Well, neither did Hardik when he got a free hit actually. So.
Oh, because he actually hit his own wicket off the free hit, which was very bizarre. Very bizarre. I must admit, I forgot it was a free hit, and I thought no one had noticed the hit wicket, which would be unlikely with all the cameras these days. Into the pads, off the leading edge. Hardik makes a bit of a meal of the catch, but he does get it. He just really cramped the batsman up. It was a horrible cross-bat shot. It would come off the leading edge. Hardik got underneath it, but was able to throw his left hand back and pick up a looping catch. Irvin is gone for 13.
We should be joined very soon by Al. I don't know if he's all queued up ready.
He was queued up and ready right at the beginning, so he should still be.
He is reliable.
Oh.
Well, I'm supposed to be
back. That's even worse than you, Tony.
Yes.
There you go.
Leave the dad jokes to Tony.
I am here, gentlemen, but it's not the end of the over.
I know.
Not quite. Not quite.
Tony was just checking on you.
I peeked
just
too
checking.
early.
Yeah. And okay, we've got a new batsman who's also new to the tournament. I think playing his first game. Zimbabwe, who are out of the tournament, are doing the primary school thing of giving everyone a game.
Younger, then issues ponder after a cricket match.
Tony Munyonga has an opportunity on the world stage.
And Tony the Bishop plays the jingle for him.
I think maybe he did play a game or two earlier in the tournament. I may be wrong on that one.
Imagine also suggests perhaps it would be more fun to select an 11 that should never again be seen in a T20R.
Yeah, there's a few of them. A few contenders for captain, definitely. Munyonga is underway with a single up to mid-on. It's 32 for 4, one ball to go in this over. I'll be off after this one, things to do, and I'll be back on Wednesday in the studio for the semi-final, which will be India versus...
India's playing Thursday.
New Zealand versus
Pakistan and New Zealand.
Pakistan.
New Zealand versus
New Zealand,
Pakistan. And India v England on Thursday, assuming India win this game, which looks pretty safe from here. That one is a short ball. Raza misses out. End of the over. We'll have a change around, and I'll see you soon.
I'll be back in the 15th over by when I fully expect the match will be over.
Okay. See you. I'll see you all on Wednesday. So, Tony, we're up to date.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Well, this is been extinguished, hasn't it, fairly effectively?
Right, so the rate the wickets are falling, we should be out here in say about 20 minutes.
I don't know about you, Al, but I'm thinking how is it that the Indian pace bowlers consistently get swing when all the other bowlers don't seem to do it? All through the tournament, they've got appreciable swing for Arshdeep and Bhuvaneshwar Kumar.
They're not the only bowlers who can do it. I think there might be. I think there's certainly, from an English point of view, there's a concerted strategy to pitch the ball back of the length. I think Bolt and Saudi have got a little bit, but not nearly as much as what has been achieved so far. Here's Shami's going to bowl the 8th over. That's gone down the leg side. It's going to be a wide. It's also gone over the top of Rishad Pant, and that's gone for 4 wides. Oh no, it's caught the glove. Caught the glove. I do apologise. That's why it's gone over the top of Rishad Pant. And so 4 off the bat.
Yeah, 4 punched singles. He punched that very neatly over the keeper's head for 4.
Quite literally and figuratively punched. Shami in again. This one more on off stump. Younger looks for a single. There isn't one there, is it? As mid-wicket swoops in.
I get the feeling from the way that the 2 batsmen were sort of, that there's a run out potentially in the offing here as well. To complete the whole debacle of Zimbabwe's innings so far.
Well, I'm trying to think about the comedy run out would be the cherry on top of the icing on top of the cake. Particularly rubbish cake. Shami coming in. That is Yorker length delivery. I think that's just going down the leg side, although the umpire's giving it out.
I think that's probably, they're going to review it, I would imagine, but I think that's probably umpire's call on hitting leg stump.
So Munyonga's going down for a bit of a chat. The DRS timer is 5 seconds.
They had to. They had to.
Signal. Maybe umpire wants to. Maybe he just want to get off. Maybe he's parking by the hour. You know. Tony, your thoughts? Did you think it was going down the leg side?
My thoughts are that I was very busily trying to set up our Zoom screen to make sure I had me, Jason, and you looking magnificent, and consequently didn't see it. So my thoughts would be irrelevant.
Well, have a look.
I'm looking now. It seems to pitch in line. I don't think there was anything on it. I don't think it was going down leg. It kept very low. I think that's out.
Yeah, my first thought was that's umpire's call at worst, and I think looking back at it now, I think that's probably going to hit 3rd to halfway up leg stump.
Yeah, I'm with Jason.
Here it comes. Red, and red.
It's red. Red.
I do apologise to the umpire. It did look initially on first glance that it might be hitting the outside of leg stump, but in the end it hit the inside of leg stump. 36 for 5.
What's the lowest score we've had in the tournament so far?
What are you looking at me like I don't carry
you said
in my head?
You keep copious notes.
Well, I know, but that's just...
That's kind of the thing you might have.
Whoa.
Anyway, that's the end of Tony Munyonga, who's second innings of the...
Munyonga no longer.
Dear me. Bitching and fighting in the green.
We've had too much coffee thanks to the very nice stuff from Brian 001. We're all hyped up now.
Decaf next time. Decaf.
It gives me a chance though to play for probably one last time, unless I can find other reasons. This jingle.
It is Ryan Burl. He'll face Shami around the wicket. Pushed to deep cover. Singles. So he's off the mark with a single.
Yeah. Would you call him a big Jesse?
Well, it's Jesse's Girl.
Yeah.
It was the song by Rick Springfield.
Yep.
From memory. I mean, Mog and I had a conversation as I remembered that. One of my early morning jingle review sessions before I got out of bed. And I was
just before Mog got in his.
Fairly sure that it was Rick Springfield when I was remembering it.
80s classic.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Shami in. Raza tries to, well, I was going to say tries to play the ball through the covers, but more of a defensive push towards cover. and there'll be a dot ball there. One ball left to go. This 8 over, 37 for 5, and well, yeah, this game might not take too long.
Is that their official nickname, Chevrons, for Zimbabwe side?
It's not. Because when I think of chevrons, I think about the lines on motorways.
Yeah, me too.
Full toss on leg stump. Whipped away by Raza towards deep square leg, and there will be a well taken 2.
Good running. They worked out it was arse deep, and he was kind of ambling in from the boundary to get that, and turned and went straight away. And fairly safe too. The only damage really was for was it Raza to get hit in the back as the ball was coming into the stumps.
Quite a torrent of communications flying in. Mog J. Hiscox with Indian ball tampering accusations. Angelic Scooters, kind of wondering why I haven't already given up on this match in search of some much needed sleep. Transfixed into a perplexed stupor perhaps. Leah says, pretty good one from Hardick. His follow through nearly screwed him there. Mog, you're dangerously punny today, Tony. And Leah says, decaf is an affront to the gods. Well, you could not be more right there.
And to clarify that, I was just commenting on the skill of the Indian bowlers, not their
Hardick has been launched over mid-off, although underclubbed for a boundary. Definitely needed a 9-iron, but Burl played it with a sandwich.
Desperately looking at his bat now to find where the middle was.
Yeah, they didn't quite time it, but certainly mid-on and mid-off are off. And Burl's decided to go over the top. Safe shot, but
quite high on the bat. There's not enough wood on the bat there for it to go any distance at all.
Sure enough. 2 runs taken. Zimbabwe are in the 40s, and a swing and a miss. Burl is here for a good time, maybe not for a long time.
Yes, we mentioned this before that when he has to play a straight batted shot because he just plants basically his front foot, he doesn't really get much power in it. But when he's on the back foot and he can cut and pull, he's a bit better. But that one was just not. It was a nothing length. It was a good length, and he just couldn't get anywhere near it with his cut. It was just a little bit late on it, perhaps.
So there's some comparison here on the screen as Hardick goes wide of the crease and tries to bowl a shorter delivery, but it is down the leg side and will be called a wide.
Extras.
The Hardick's bowling in terms of pitch length a metre shorter than the other bowlers. Maybe that's why the swing is there. That one's gone past the outside edge. Hardick reaching back and 84 miles an hour, maybe surprising Burl pace there. There's some talk about whether he edged it or not. They are trying to encourage the captain to be able to review it. Oh, and they have.
Yeah, he's quite close with the bat.
Have reviewed it. There has been a review. Hardick was at, don't know what to say whether Rowett's been bullied into this, but
I think it's a why not. We're at 42 for 5 review.
Yeah,
I think so.
Just on the off chance.
So the original decision, folks, was not out. The ball does not seem to deviate off the bat as it goes past it.
And in fact, he's turning the bat away from it before, as he's.
Not even a twitch in Ultra Edge.
No.
Not even the flutter of wind just moving past the bat.
And the umpire has a very nice smile and we're saying, see, I told you, you didn't listen to me.
So what a
John
waste
Wilson
of time
dreams
that
of
was.
those smiles.
This one's swinging slightly away from Burl. He pushes it to the covers, no run. Halfway through the ninth, 42 for 5. 187 seeming a little beyond the Zimbabweans at this stage.
They're trundling along at a shade under 5 and over, and they need
12.
12 and a half, edging towards 13. So it's going to be a struggle.
So analytically, struggling.
They need to double their score and then some.
Oh, and well, we've gone some way towards maybe trying to address some of that. Burl has taken Hardick over mid-off this time, and this time he has got enough on it for it to go all the way to
Oh, I
fourth.
say, chap, give me any lip.
That one swinging fairly much into the slot, really.
Oh, Tony's in full Jinglmeister mode now.
Oh, I'm doing a bit of DJ Tony Tone mashup.
Oh, well, if you're going to do full DJ Tone, if you've got any jingle requests, there's that one slightly back of the length, Burl with an ugly whip which ends up going straight. Goes over Hardick's head, but it will be cut off by mid-off. That's a single. Burl will retain the strike. The end of 9 overs, Zimbabwe are 47 for 5. Get your jingle requests in now.
No, don't, because that means I have to find things, and that's beyond me. I can only work with the materials that are actually under my nose when it comes to jingling. Right,
if
let me
you'd
see.
like to request a jingle that Tony can find, then in that case.
Leah, Zimbabwe are called the chevrons after the V-shapes on the Great Zimbabwe. Oh, okay. Jason Hickox walks back ball tampering accusations, says Mog. Yes, I think he rather did. Let's have a look on YouTube. Chevrons, we all agreed it's Zimbis or Zimbos, apparently. Still an amazing jingle, though. I don't know which one Suter Who is talking about.
Brian's Burl.
It might be the Ryan Bro. Yes, I think. I'm going to just find reasons to play it, I think.
Oh, we're in the mid-innings break, I think, aren't we?
Oh,
Yeah,
we might be.
Take your time.
Well, we can take our time. We can tell you.
Oh no! It's going to be Ashwin.
I am premature.
Oh, dear. As long as you don't have to say that too often. Yes, it is this chap.
Back of a length on leg stump, turned away round the corner. Hardick though, great athletic fielding, limits it to a single.
Ashwin.
The best of his innings are as long as his name. Oh, Rabbit Chandran Ashwin. Ashwin turns to the left. Ashwin turns straight on. Oh, Ashwin. Lovely. 100. Ashwin.
It is one of the better jingles, and it's been around for such a long time now.
Oh, straight on.
All class. Yorker length delivery. Raza moves his feet and is able to push this down to long off. Singles, 49 for 5.
As has Ravage Henry Ashford, who is A36 now and the senior player, probably in every sense.
Yes. But I just noticed the drift on that last delivery was delightful as the way it just sort of floated in.
Reverse sweep
Shot.
attempted by Burl. Great shot. That's gone all the way to 4. I like to think he's putting himself in the shop window of a few franchise teams.
I thought someone assigned him somewhere for something. Maybe I dreamt that.
Just take advantage of your opportunities. I like it. Ashwin responds. Ball on just on middle stump. Turns around the corner, sharply taking single. I think Burl would have been there with a direct hit, maybe, but a single.
Very, very short. I mean, you've got to really trust your partner for that one.
Absolutely. 54 for 5, which is as nice to say as it is to see. 5-4 for black.
4-4. He's 5-5.
Ashwin in. And Raza's hit him over extra cover. And that's going to take a couple of bounces, a small dribble, and that's another 4.
It's been razzed to the boundary. That's a...
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary, crossing a boundary.
To be fair, it was there to be hit. It was a slightly short of a length, and all he had to do was get it up and over the cover fielder. And
Which
there's
he did with a plump.
And there's nobody on the boundary to pick that up.
Last ball of this 10th over. Our sponsored drinks break will take place after this delivery. Turned by Raza, and there'll be a single down towards deep backward square. That over from Ashwin has gone for 12, and it's moved the total all the way up to 59 for 5.
Well, Mog's getting excited about the idea of potentially jingle requests. Requests, you say? Tangini Lungamini, Piquet à France, which I rather recall is sort of Mog in sort of Noel Coward mode from recollection. Devan Lecoq and Gerhard Erasmus are all players he wants, which, sorry Mog, I'm not enabled to do right now. But we will find ways to play them, maybe in 1 or 2 podcasts coming up, maybe during the final. We'll think of something. Leah says, speaking of Zimbos, can we all agree that Hardick is quite the himbo? Oh, there you go. There you go. I'll have a little cruise over to YouTube. Ooh, where all sorts of stuff's happening. Stephen Kilk. Stephen at Gorilla Age, it's more likely Murray Mints or Werther's Originals. In reply to too many Haribo Dragibus Softs, apparently. Pokey saying I'd be up usually for all the tourney games, but at the cost of electrics this year, fuck that. Better off under the duvet with the dog cosy and warm.
Well, there is that.
What kind of dog? We want to know.
That doesn't quite scan right, does it?
Well, still keen to know what kind of dog. Stephen says, true, but I would deny anybody the narcotic glory of overdosing on Haribo Dragibus. Sutu says, I'm not sure I've seen those. We'll Google it. Okay.
Don't Google it on your works computer, Sutu.
I was going to say, is that Haribo
Possibly
that's available in the
not.
Netherlands, perhaps?
Rajesh Mohan says, will Danush... this is not why I was laughing. I'm laughing at the next one. Will Danushka Gunathalaka, a Sri Lankan cricketer, go to jail in Sydney? Yes, that's
very much.
Yes, it's a very
news.
If proven to be true, then yes.
Yeah, I think so. Mog does say, but if you don't play those jingles, however else am I meant to hear them? Well, you wrote most of them, mate. So I think that's probably how. Well, I will promise to you, Mog, I will find a way to get those jingles, even if I have to plead with the bear. Just not today, that was all. But we'll make sure they get the airing they deserve.
It's the bear's day off.
Bish, am I the only one? Am I the only person on Gorilla Cricket who's not been on your podcast yet?
No, you're not the only person.
With that sort of blatant pleading,
hint.
Then I'm sure we'll find a way, Al.
No, I was curious. Is it just me and Jason?
No, there are others.
But we're well down the list.
We're working our way down to.
It's going to be more spin as we come up. There was a fabulous lunch show. Someone proving in the MCG control tower that they now have to turn all the lights on and off very quickly. The 11th over is going to be bowled by Axel Patel.
Well, while I look for him, what would you be drinking when you come to the Bishop and Bear? And I'll have it lined up again at the bar for you.
A Guinness and Advocaat.
Guinness and Advocaat, and here's Axel Patel.
Yeah. The stroke plays the words, and as sweet as a slice of Battenberg. Extra, because if you can't score runs, then it's the spin.
That one's back of the length and has been it's edged just by Bhuvi Kumar at a short third man, and I think it's difficult to tell because there's no decent camera shot, but that might have for, I think.
I don't think it was a drop. I don't think Bhuvi was a bit laboured getting across.
Oh no, he didn't get there. It just went past it. I'm sorry if I made that claim that it was a drop catch. It wasn't. It did go to full. Oh, horrible camera work. This one's flipped through mid wicket towards deep mid wicket, and they're going to come back for 2.
We will be recording a Bishop and Bear next week, so I think you may have talked yourself into that now.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about real drinks that I would have in the bar, then it would be Buffalo Trace and lemonade, bourbon and lemonade.
We do any drinks for anybody. Well, only Patreons or distinctly contributors and friends of the show.
Ooh, Raza gets down on one knee and tries to sort of scoop and sweep that ball. It's gone straight to short third man. They've taken a sharply taken single, and there are overthrows.
He must have got a bat on that, because without that, that's a fairly decent shout for LBW. I'd have thought.
Yeah, it's come off the bat. So 2 or 1-1, depending on how you want to call it. Not really Yorker length delivery. And Raza plays it down the ground to long off.
I think AXA's strength in the test match arena, where he bowls the same ball, the same location all the time, is actually his weakness in T20s. People set him up, they see him coming, and they can premeditate to some extent on what he's going to do.
Well, look at Surya in the last over at the.
Yeah.
He got the same ball over and over again, and was able to manoeuvre the ball in fabulous ways.
Smash it for 6 and 4 all the time.
Yeah, no, but it's like if you know the ball. So he's come round and gone over the wicket, a reverse sweep by Burl, which is
fantastic
like
shot.
An absolute exocet missile.
Is that a 6 or is it just a 1 bounce 4? It's a 6. I thought it was.
6. Well, my days.
Oh, I say, chap, give me any lip.
That's a fantastic hit.
To play that shot at the MCG.
80 metres.
These aren't chip shot boundaries, folks. These are big, big boundaries. As that one comes off a little mixture of bat and pad, that's going to go for a single. It's classified as a leg by 15 off that over. Tony, what a shot!
Well, it was beautiful shot. Is that the end of the over?
It is the end of the over.
Well, Mog's saying I may have overhyped these jingles, but do you know what? One of the ones he mentioned was Gerhard Erasmus. Here's Gerhard.
Gerhard Erasmus, he captains the side. Gerhard Erasmus is sweet.
Mog also says, I've been on that podcast, and it's pretty easy to work out where you and Jason are on the pecking order. That's a little bit harsh. I think it's largely because you're mainly at work, mate. That's probably the reason.
It's also remarkably fair. Yes, I am at work most of the time. There is that. Ashwin's going to bowl the 12th over. That is just nudged by Burl. Ashwin will dive in instalments and get down to the ball and stop a single.
You beat me too. I said he's gone down in instalments there.
yeah. Just kind of his whole body was like, I don't think I can do this.
Yes, I'm just waiting for gravity to catch up.
Yeah. This is swept by Burl, regulation style. There is a fielder down there, just about makes enough room to stop the boundary, but there's going to be an easy 2 there.
Yeah, he didn't pick it up cleanly. That allowed them to get the extra run with fairly easily.
Yeah, Brian Burl is
having a good day.
He's having himself a game, isn't he? He's 22 off 14 balls. And every one of those balls he's trying a different shot. It's quite cool. This one is slapped through the covers in front of square.
Gotta go for 4.
I don't think the fielder's going to cut that off. And that's gone for 4.
Again, not particularly good bowling by Ashwin. He's given him width to hit that through the vacant cover area.
Well, kind of preview to the semi-finals. As difficult as the seamers have been to get away, the spinners have been very easy. As Burl tries a reverse sweep to a ball that he really should have played orthodoxly through the offside. I think he sweeps it against his own leg.
Yes, he's smashed it into his back leg, I think.
Yeah,
off the bottom
edge. Could have easily played on there, but it's just gone into his leg. The perils of premeditation. That is again down the leg side, or leading edge. It looped up. Pant scampers trying to make up some ground, but you cannot do so sufficiently far enough forward that it all falls safely. And with 1 ball left of this 12th over, Zimbabwe are 81 for 5.
Oh, that's a good shout.
It's hit him in the chest.
But he's leaning. He's on full stretch forward, and that's hit him probably in front of off stump. Maybe just going to slide away from off stump and miss it.
So at the end of that over, 81 for 5 with Ashwin going for 18 runs in his 2 overs.
Well, here's another one that was on Mog's wish list. It's the inimitable Piquet à France.
Spare the rod,
Oh, this is the coward one.
Axar to bowl, and Raza is pushed that to deep cover, and there'll be a single off that first ball.
And India being helped by the legion of seagulls who are on the pitch in various untended areas.
Yep.
Is that a help? This one, a wider ball, which Burl, dispatches with some extravagance. Smashes its way down to long on. Times it too well, so only grabs himself a single. As we see Zimbabwe's problem about batting second, a win percentage of only 28.6% in 2022. A slightly quicker delivery, which Raza will push behind square.
Someone's got Tony's funny bone here.
Yeah, it's Colin Suter going, fuck, I must be the lowest of the low then, or they just can't afford the bar tab.
Yeah, you and me both, mate. You and me both. Maybe we'll start our own bar. A bar for no one loves us. Muscled away.
Singles bar.
Towards.
Well, you're the only one in it.
Square leg. Well, that's why no one likes me. My bar, and I'll cry if I want to. So, Raza's now on 22 off 40. Burl 27 off 19. Axar's gone for 20 in 10 balls.
Yeah, like I said, very hittable Axar.
They're just hittable. Burl's got down on one knee and tried to play this ball.
That's a lovely shot.
And it's gone behind square, too far behind square, and that's gone for 4.
Yeah, you just got to get that. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You just got to get that fine enough to beat them, the fine leg that's up on the 1, and then the deep square leg's got no chance.
Reverse sweep. He's not got a hold of that quite the way I think he wanted to, but it's chipped itself over the fielder, and that has just made it to the sponge for 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That's the end of the 13th over. I think there's going to be a bit of a
there is.
around.
We should be hearing the dulcet, silky tones of an Indo returning. You're staying on, Mog, and I can tell you that Mog, you're not Mog. You're staying on Owl,
Dear
but
God.
your next jingle is Mog. 3 minutes
hello.
ago.
Hello, Tony. My name's Alan. I'm very pleased
Hello,
to meet you.
Alan. How delightful.
And Alan is only slightly less musically gifted than Mog.
Well,
only completely.
We are seeing a beautiful view of the Melbourne skyline over the Yarra River, looking fabulous, I must say. 93 is what Zimbabwe need to win. Yes, the reason I mentioned the name of the great Mog is that it's 3 minutes ago, and he's talking about Ryan Pearl is your next tweet. That one's a swing and a miss. Through to Pantic goes off the bowling of R. Ashwin. 92 off 42. Just a reminder, 174 was the highest they'd got in this tournament so far, Zimbabwe. 187 is what they've been set here. That's just chipped back over Ashwin, who skips to his left, throws up a left arm, couldn't get to it. And it will be one more to the score, 96 for 5. Thank you, Jason. Have you adjusted things appropriately for me? You are an absolute star.
An Indo.
Yes.
Are we making a bit too much about the fact that Axar and Ashwin have been hittable in this game?
But does it really matter?
Yeah, in the wider context of the game, it does.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan Burl's been going beautifully, chaps, as Ashwin is in, and he's been bowled.
Yep.
Swing and a miss away to the left. He's not going beautifully anymore. He's been cursed, has poor old Ryan Burl. I'm afraid that possibly for the very last time in the tournament will be the last time we hear this. Or indeed this.
When shall we all next play again? Not in thunder, lightning, or in rain. With Bell
all this?
There's good times and there's bad times in Ryan Burl.
That's it, I'm all burled out, and so is he. He's been bowled off his pads by R. Ashwin. But what an opportunity that was.
Beautiful ball.
Been burled, surely.
That was quite.
He's been burled! Oh, Jason, take a bow! Take a bow, Jason. He's been burled off his pads, and yes, indeed he was. An Indo, comment.
Which was a beautiful
If you can.
I know. We were waiting our turn.
It's the Duke of Wellington himself, Wellington Masakadza, who is in now. I don't think he's loaded up on the jingle cart.
No, I don't think you were able to find it.
No, I don't think I'm mysteriously going to find him again.
Appeared at the crease.
He's in now, and he's just dabbed this away to leg. 96 for 6. 91 off 39 is the nominal and frankly ludicrously unachievable target. Sad end really for Zimbabwe, because they've been good value for this tournament, but India have just been too powerful today, as this one is steered into the offside. We're watching the dismissal of Ryan Burl again. I won't play one of his multiple jingles just because we're watching a replay of him. I think that would be a bridge too far.
Well,
oh, that's very close to being slap bang in front. No, says Rod Tucker.
And India has no DRS left.
I thought they'd reviewed one.
No, they wasted 2, I think.
Oh, did they waste? I know Hardick's one was a bit of a waste.
The one very early.
Yeah, there was the edge that Pant was convinced about, but literally no one else was. This one is just eased gently. It's bobbling its way back indolently towards R. Ashwin, and there is no run. It's 14 overs complete. 6 to go. 96 for 6, and we can go to Super Owl.
Okay, bit of a streaming mark consciousness here. Just give Bill man of the match now and be done with it. To suit to who, I think they'd be concerned about the volume you consume and your resultant Scottishness. I think that's about your being at your bar. Let me see here. Colin Tutaway is Colin on again for ball by ball. Well, it's not that left the bar since. Mog says Axel's bowling much like Steve Smith's face. He's very hittable. Angelic Scutus Mog on tweet. Now that would be fun.
What a thought.
Though I think in order to swear enough to stump him, might need to get permaban. Let me see. You're up to date as far as I can see, but I think there's a couple coming. My computer's just a bit slow.
Might be. YouTube was reasonably active. 91 is what is needed. Just 36 balls to get them. We have 6 overs left. My maths is right. I think I can take 14 from 20. 96 for 6.
Well, it would have been easier to divide 36 by 6.
As this one, I could have done it that way as well. You know, there's more than one ways to skin a cat, you know. As this one is nudged away towards square leg. The target reduces to a mere 89 off 35, which is a lot harder to divide by 6.
Someone must tell me why that expression exists. Why would you want to skin a cat?
Well, or indeed
like
swing one. Oh, now
to...
Pant thinks he's got his man here. It was a swing and a miss. We're getting the is it a book, is it a film? No, it's a TV programme. Signal from the umpire. Hands are on heads.
I'd be very surprised
Richard
if
Pant thinks he's got
his foot
him.
had gone up. He seemed to be well in the crease.
You thought he was well back? Well, have another look. Have another look. Does he get back? Oh, I think he does. I think there's just enough. Yeah, I think we can all move on there. Although it was a sharp bit of work from Rishabh Pant, who's going, well, if I can't get there to the semi-final and final with my batting, maybe, just maybe, they'll pick me for my wicket keeping.
But he's a better wicket keeper than Dinesh Karthik at the moment. I think Dinesh Karthik's just picked up too slow.
Yeah, but Dinesh Karthik's got this reputation now as being the finisher, hasn't he? That's
which he is incapable of doing in this World Cup, apparently.
Well, you say he's incapable of doing it. I mean, the fact is that they somehow have got themselves to the semi-finals. So collectively, they're doing something right.
Being a finisher, not because of Dinesh Karthik.
No, I take your point on that. But there's always an interesting debate to me is, if a team is winning in cricket, which is, less than a team, less of a team game in that you're so dependent upon individual performances. I mean, it is still very much a team game. Would you change a team if it's
no? I'm not
continuing
suggesting he be dropped. I'm just saying that his reputation precedes him, but he's not really lived up to it.
That one's, oh my word, that's been absolutely launched. Is it going to be caught? No, it's just evaded the fielder, who then somehow, from lying on the ground, who was that? Did a sort of a bizarre butterfly stroke as he crashed. I just need to check if that actually went all the way. It certainly went high into the Melbourne sky. It's a 4, yes it is. Yeah. It's going to be a 4.
1 2 ka 4, 4 2 ka 1. My name is Lakhan. My name is Lakhan.
This one's just pushed away to the leg again. Just no run on this occasion. Single, I beg your pardon, on this occasion. 30 for Sikandar Raza. It's going very nicely.
But to your point, Al, I think just since you were asking about Akshar and Ashwin bowling just before Ashwin took that wicket, Akshar is definitely not bowling well, and I just don't see why they keep bowling today. I mean, just take him out. They've got enough options.
This one again is just nudged away by Masakadza into the offside. Dinesh Karthik is on the field. That means somebody must be off the field because he must be on as substitute. Looking like he'd probably rather be somewhere else, to be honest. As this one is just pushed again back past the bowler by the Duke of Wellington. And away it goes to long off. They take another single.
Leah, speaking of the Netherlands, they had a thriving death metal scene in the 90s, referred to as, now, I'm not going to try the German pronunciation, but Tulip Slaughterers here in Germany. Messi Jazz has got a picture, the Great Mog, with the Great Mog of Magog, who besieged the city of the Saints.
All bow before the Great Mog.
Mog, for a random Zimbabwean cricketer girl, sure has a surfeit of jingles. Angelic scooters. Of all the stupid camera angles I've seen in this tournament, super close at slow-mo of the stumps moving backwards has to be up there for the most utterly pointless.
Ashwin around the wicket, rather squares up, leading edge, taken by Rohit. Wicket for R. Ashwin, another one down for Zimbabwe, and 83 from 29, and they are 7 down, and it's looking beyond hopeless, I'm afraid.
That was guided into the hands of Rohit Sharma.
What on earth were you playing at?
Yeah.
That's a good jingle for this dismissal.
Yeah. It's you couldn't get a nicer catch in practice, would you?
No.
Well, I'm afraid he's met his Waterloo as the Duke of Wellington, and he's chipped one to Rohit Sharma to boot, and he is gone. 104 for 7. I'm now out of Wellington puns.
Well, we need to watch Zimbabwe play a test, and if he doesn't do well in both innings,
you missed the obvious one.
Did I?
Well, at least he'd be
given the boot.
I said 2 boot, but fair enough. He has been given the boot. Sorry, chaps. Carry on. We were interrupting you, interrupting us.
Al was just wondering if Wellington Masakadza played a test match, and you'd have plenty of opportunity.
Yeah, well, if he did poorly in both innings, you could have a pair of Wellington.
Well, the new man to the crease is
this is true.
Richard
This is true.
Ngarava. Let me see if we can find him. Is he under N? No, of course he's not. He's sort of somewhere in the middle. Here he is.
Probably in G.
And he's going to be off the mark straight away because he's guided us away into the onside and gets himself a single. Well done, Richard Ngarava. Yeah, that Ashwin got the poor old Duke of Wellington into an absolute tangle there, and all he could do was spoon it up. And Rohit Sharma on this occasion did not summon his inner Moeen Ali and just snaffled it and said thank you very much. 105 for 7. wicket and a single off this Ashwin over. 2 for 21 for him so far. Sikandar Raza continues to fight the good fight, pretty much alone, and nearly swings himself off his feet, but he grounded his back leg. Pant was lurking, but Raza was safe enough. He tried to launch that, and it was a complete swing and a miss.
I think Raza's had about
over
3...
the wicket, back foot by Sikandar Raza, this time guided to mid-off, and it's a single. He'll move on to 31, and Garava just the single. And that's the second run of this Ashwin over, 106 for 7. There's some rather forlorn, crestfallen looking faces amongst, well, no, actually no, one or two of them are smiling, one or two of them are looking sad, the Zimbabwe crew. I will say again, they can hold their heads up, I think, after this tournament. And it looks to me
what
like...
kind of a delivery was that?
Well, that was extraordinary. And Garava's looking at that going, what happened? It was a grubber from Ashwin. I don't even think it was... Was it deliberate? Was it a shooter?
No,
It just didn't bounce.
Ashwin had no idea.
I think even our Ashwin would have to confess, I have literally no idea how I got that wicket. It just didn't bounce at all. And Ungarava, even he's laughing. The laugh of the condemned man, maybe.
Ashwin's hiding his face.
Yeah.
Ashwin's embarrassed. Well, do you know what? I genuinely think there can only be one jingle for that one, and it's this one.
Shit gets wicked, so try and see. A slow full toss is a guarantee that shit gets wicked, obviously. Shit gets wicked, so shit gets wicked.
Well, it certainly does. But no, even Ashwin was hiding his face.
Yeah, yeah. You definitely shouldn't take up poker if that's his poker face. Just like, oh dear.
Poker face.
Every one of his emotions is on his face. Always.
Well, embarrassment being probably the prevalent amongst them. It's Tendai Chitara is the new man to the crease. We will give him a welcome shortly. But we'll see what Ashwin's got up his sleeve this time. He's beaten him, and it's through, and it bounces back off Pant, actually. So from one that didn't bounce at all, that one really did zip and bounce a bit. But Chitara survives, just somehow. I'm not sure he'll know how. And at the end of that, yes, we are at the end of that Ashwin over. It's 106 for 8. Al.
Let me just go back a bit here. Cricket Takes. The Steve Smith Piggy jingle is the most hilarious jingle I've seen from GC. Never laughed so much since the 19 World Cup final. Leah, apparently the origin of the cat skinning proverb is unknown. Mark, just wait till they package it with some pretentious classical music. Leah, no Prussians to save Wellington's bacon this time. Let me see some various bits and pieces. Angelic Scooter, yeah, Channel 9. So lots of conversations very much going on. Cricket Takes Pant was lurking is an amazing sentence to hear in a cricket commentary. I'll let you commentate on.
Well, it's Hardik Pandya back into the attack, and Sikandar Raza has swung him away down to fine leg, but there's a man down there. It's Ashwin. They will come back for 2. Raza will move on to 33. Zimbabwe 108 for 8. But if
I get the feeling Ashwin was lying on the grass well before the ball arrived.
Well, that run rate has now climbed to 20.6, and they're going at under 7. So they're going to have to accelerate at, well, sort of warp speed, frankly. That one's lofted nicely by Raza. He continues to fight on his own. 33 off 22. He's literally... Well, Ryan Burl, of course, did his bit, didn't he? Magnificently. But really not much else for Zimbabwe today. 3 off this Hardik over so far.
I think it's the first time tweeted. Jason Hiscox turned around and said, as if there weren't enough Ryan Burl jingles, I've already thought of another, namely Ryan Burl, Duke of Earl.
Ooh. Ryan, Burl, Ryan, Burl, etc. Yeah, good shout. Chitara I think that's off the pad there. Going to jog, but I'm going to wait and see whether that was signalled as a leg by an Indo. Did I catch that as a leg by?
I think it's definitely a leg by.
Yeah, I think so. Still one more to the score.
Near the ball.
One more to the score, 110 for 8. It's not going to do a lot to that run rate, though. That was already over 20, I'm afraid.
It would have been a wide if he'd left it. Anyway.
True, a leg side wide. One leg by has indeed been given. Hardik Pandya is in. Right arm, that is going to be a wide.
That's going to be a wide.
And Sikandar Raza on this occasion jumps well out the way. And it is indeed one of these.
So umpires spread your wings and call away.
76 off 21.
That's the next evolution of limited overs and T20 batting, isn't it? To have enough awareness of what's going to be called the wide that you'll actually, I'll let that one go, add one to the total, and I'll take the next delivery.
Well, I think players already do that.
Lead that.
I think players already do that. This one, oh, it's been hauled high. Has it been hauled far enough? I don't think so, no. Suryakumar Yadav's had a fabulous day out with the bat. He's now had a very good day in the field because he's taken a steepler. It's dropped down into his hands, and if all hope wasn't lost, it's certainly lost now. And I'm afraid Sikandar Raza has to go. It's been a fine effort from him, but alas, alack, and woe is he, for I'm afraid he has gone. Do you know what? I've suddenly started. So early finish. I'm thinking, ooh, pub lunch. Pub lunch.
He was fighting a lone battle out there, and really doing a good job.
You can maybe get home early and get even more brownie points.
Well, that's why I'll ring the better half on the way home. Say, not only am I bringing a chocolate brownie for you, but how do you fancy a pub lunch? And we'll see how that goes. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Sikandar Raza, 34 off 24 for him. Ryan Burl, probably still the star turn, 35 off 22 as far as Zimbabwe are concerned.
Oh, I think someone's on the pitch.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh.
I've just seen a security guard come over the fence. I think someone's got a bit too overexcited.
Oh, well, it's blessings rather than last rites, but it could be either, because Blessing Musrabani is going to be the new man at the crease. Here he is.
A blessing on your head, Musrabani, Musrabani. You're not quite the spearhead, Mazel Tov, Musrabani.
Well, indeed. 111 for 9, 76 off 20, the ludicrously impossible equation. A run rate of best part of 23. It's been a cruise for India, hasn't it, an Indo?
Absolutely.
And that beats Musrabani, who just prodded rather tentatively forward and past his outside edge. Hardik Pandya seems very keen to get on with things. Rishabh Pant's got a big old smile on his face. He is a jolly chap, Rishabh Pant. He always looks quite chirpy.
Yeah, it was. There was a nice tweet out there from Hardik, I think, this morning or somebody, or last night, after this morning.
And this one is just nudged away by Blessing into the onside. He's playing very straight, very correctly. Not a lot of footwork. He's a very tall fellow though, so he probably doesn't need to get too much footwork in. He's not playing like a man who thinks I'm going to give this a crack. Let's be honest. 17 overs complete, 111 for 9. And we shall go back to the Wizard of the Wirral for some more of your messages.
Angelic Scooters, 82,000 at the MCG tonight. Well, clearly the solution to Cricket Australia's crowd problem is just to stop playing fixtures including Australia in them. Mog says he'll have that Duke of Burl jingle on your desk by the time you get up tomorrow. Tony?
Mog knows I consume my Mog jingles in bed. No, I don't go to a desk for them. They normally have arrived before I get out of bed. but I shall look forward to it.
Yeah.
This one is slapped back over the bowler's head. It might get... Oh! It was waved through by Arsteep. What's he doing? It's gone
he didn't want to break his leg.
Well, he didn't want to break his leg. He just jumped out the way. That, I have to say, is like white feather stuff.
Has he got a GPL prediction?
Yep, he just said... Well, I'm sorry, that wasn't very good. It's 4 runs. Rohit looks well peeved, and I'm not surprised. Don't suppose Axar Patel's that happy as he comes left arm around. That is spooned up. Axar says, thank you very much. Game over. Blessings got his 1-4. 115, still 72 short of what was needed. Zimbabwe, super tournament for them by and large. Very well done. Now, GPL, can you do some maths? You're a data analyst by trade, aren't you, Jason?
I've got a calculator.
I think we're not far away.
Okay.
What was it? They got 186 and 100.
They won by 71. You're absolutely right. Let's. Well, while you work that out,
186 and 115.
It's 186 plus
they missed out
115.
by a couple of runs.
It was Hombre Nuevo who was at the lower end.
Yeah.
And I think Don Diego was at the upper end, and I think neither have succeeded. What we can tell you is that the Zimbabwe have rather subsided here. 115 all out of 17.2 overs. They were chasing 186 for 5, which had been some way ahead of anything they got previously in this tournament. Star turns though. Sikandar Raza 34 off 24. Ryan Burl 35 off 22, and well, frankly, not a lot else. If we look at the bowling, well done, R. Ashwin. 3 for 22 for him, 1 for 40 for Axar Patel, 2 for 16 for Hardik, 2 for 14 for Mohammad Shami, 1 for 9 for Arshdeep Singh, and 1 for 11 for Bhuvi Kumar. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bowlers bowled. Every one of them took a wicket. India are saluting their legion of fans who have turned out in, well, they've packed the MCG. I believe this game was a sellout, and they have won by 71 runs. And Indo, you must be turning cartwheels of delight down Singapore High Street.
I don't think the India win is a surprise in this match, but very comprehensive. Nice to see them get the game together as they go into the knockout stage. So yeah, looking forward to the match against England, I guess, now at Adelaide on Thursday.
That's what it will be. It will be Adelaide. Those short boundaries on either side of the Adelaide Oval, I think, will come into play as both sides bat. Any thoughts, Anindo, on which way that would go?
No, I'm not going to make any predictions on that one. England's probably the best T20 team around, and India would know that going in. So let's see. May the better team win on the day.
Well, it's going to be a big one. And do you know what? Whatever happens, I mean, you've got another matchup between England and New Zealand in a world final as a prospect. You've got India versus Pakistan in a world final as a prospect.
Yep.
Both are teasing, both are tantalising. So expect it to be Pakistan, New Zealand. Come the day. And there we go. It's all over here. We are going to love you and leave you. Al, just some final messages, if you have any.
All were related to the game going on at the time. Hombre Nuevo had to step out, so didn't hear the end. No more runs, please. Probably reference to GPL.
Yep.
The Bear, GPL in play, this final wicket goes for no run, but we had that 4 that was waved through, which I think was put paid to that. 301 runs scored in the day. Yeah, I think we're all up to date. Ready for semi-finals and finals next week.
Well, it does. Sunday lunch beckons for us, so it's going to be a huge thank you to Messrs, to the ever eloquent Anindo, Andy Ward, to Jason sat here to my left, and of course to the Wizard of the Wirral, Al Hotch. I was up in Wigan the other day. I looked at Wigan's not far from the Wirral, I don't think.
It's a hop, skip, and about 40 miles.
Well, it's probably a bit further. I did halfway think.
A bit closer to Blackpool.
I wonder if I'll give Al a tinkle while I'm
hey,
up in Wigan.
If you're ever up this way, just give us a shout and I'll tell you how far away.
I'll give you a reason why I'm not going to come out and drink with you. Yeah. Right, that's it for now. We're going to love you and leave you, and we will see you, for the first semi-final on Wednesday, and we cannot wait.
See you, folks.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. Would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din, Václav Havel, Graham Saville, No Surrender, Percy Fender, Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin,